Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to this week's GKP Live. I hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's well and had a good week up to press. Usual thing, guys. We'll be right back after this. If magic aliens, there you go, Rick. How you doing, bud?
Oh, you cut that one close, Rick.
Never. Bang on time.
That's it. Bang on time. You couldn't have been any more perfect, mate.
Even did me hair for you.
Looks like a dash to the sofa hairstyle. Vince, we might have to do a trim, mate.
Oh.
I mean, you just for men looks real dark and shiny though today.
It's Brill cream, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't use just for men. I'm not like you.
Usual thing, guys. There is the top of the what do they call them? Comments. There's a pinned notice up there with a link should anybody wish to join us. What's everybody been up to then? How's your week been?
Productive.
Busy.
Good.
Busy, productive.
Hot.
Yeah, very hot.
Busy, productive, hot, boring. There you go. And catch you all next week, guys, for the same exciting topics. Yeah.
Hey, what fish are we dissecting next week?
Next week is any type of tan show. As somebody did ask that with one of our questions for this evening for not really a topic, but obviously somebody wanted to know. So we're going to go with any type of tan show because I don't think there are very many people. I mean, I know Rick probably will have one, and I know Vince has got one, but I ain't got one, and I don't think you have. Have you guys got a proper tan show? Yeah. Oh, you have? Yeah, you have. God damn it, I got a pinch one last week. Borrowed it for a week.
I didn't think I got it until I started looking, and then I thought, oh, there's one, there's another one.
There's one. But yeah, it's going to be any type of tan show. So feel free to share, as we did with the Matskowbakis last week, or the Deutsch counterpart, which is the Kumon Roo. Feel free to send in your pictures to either Facebook group, Instagram if you wish. A bit more difficult to get them off of there, or the Discord community posts, or you can even send them me on Telegram if you've got me. Oh, they're my favourites and Manoric, like them.
They are good, aren't they?
The lemon ones, the lemon ones are they're proper make you feel a bit of a tank. Now then, for all those that are wondering, I am not. You can get a banana flavour as well. Sorry, I get easily distracted when it comes to Haribo sweets.
Haribo distraction.
Wondering, YouTube is showing the channel and the video starting an hour later than what it is, but I assume that it will always be 7:30. So regardless to whatever YouTube's showing, because on my system, on this system, on the live stream system, it's programmed to start at 7:30. It comes up saying 7:30 for me when I look at my channel. But some people are coming to me and telling me that it's saying 8:30. I don't know. I think it's something to do with YouTube, to be fair. Other than that, got no idea. But just so you all know, that's watching now. There's 34 of you watching at present, 36 and going up. Don't forget to whack them thumbs up, guys. Do us a favour. Give us a bit of support. It is always going to be at 7:30. The only difference to it not being at 7:30 will be me leaving a message to say to you, I'm not going live. Other than that, just thought I'd get that one cleared up. I don't know what it is or whether it's just something that's going on with YouTube or what, but it is saying it for some reason.
It did that last week as well, didn't it?
Well, it actually officially says I've been live now for 1 hour, 7 minutes. So
on your own.
It's not right. So I'll double check it from my side, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It could be StreamYard, it could be the time and date on there, but I'll double check it and make sure. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's where we're up to. Do us a favour, guys. If anybody wants to ask any of us for a question, type it out in capital letters, as we have very few topics for this evening. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen to Vince, Daz, and Rick tell us about what it's like to have so many ponds and so many farms, fish, and grading and all the rest of it. Because I only have one small little pond.
Never ending.
I can tell you one bit of bad news. I had done a video on it because I'm a bit pissed off about it, to be fair, but I lost my Yamabuke. Yamabuke is no more. Captain Crackhead has gone to the big sky and he's put himself to rest. I was talking to Mike, and Mike was saying, how's pond doing? I said, it's all right, mate. So I thought, I'll bring camera up and have a look. So I recorded it. 1 minute and 20 seconds. And he flashed through and around the pond about 14 times, bumping in and banging into everything and all sorts. And I thought, well, what the hell's going wrong with him? So I got home and I gave him a scrape to see if there were anything there, but nothing. So I give him another PP bath and think, we'll see what that does. Back in pond, dead. Ollie went in, got a bit of something to eat, come back out, done.
Happens, mate. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But one thing I did notice with him, and I didn't notice till I did the recent bowl up video that I did for all my fish to get them onto the koi control app. He was a big fish and a deep-bodied fish, but he weren't. When I came to measuring him up, 41 cm, but he was just straight, flat. He'd lost that depth to him, but he was eating like crazy.
Yeah. something internal.
Only thing I could say is over the last sort of like week or so since I'd seen him being as bad as what he was, I was getting a lot of transparent, completely clear poo. And now he's gone, I haven't seen any. So whether or not that was something that was going wrong with him or something wrong inside or what, I don't know. But I mean, the way that he thrashed around, the way that we were going around in pond like a nutcase, made me wonder if there was something wrong, up top.
Cracked his head or something.
Scraping clean, all the other fish scraping clean. Yet he's still acting like that.
Internal coffee gas, that's what it is.
Could be some of that other one. It's really fluke.
It's really flukes, yeah.
Yeah, might have been them. That may be what fucked him up. But as it is, that he is no more. And I am pissed at it because I spent a lot of frigging money trying to get that fish right.
Yeah.
And it's all been for no. I tried the salt baths. I give him free, and that didn't do no. I mean, how far do you go before
Yeah.
treatment outvalues your cost of your fish for a start? That went long ago. But to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. I've had nothing but chemicals in my pond for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So now it's time.
Fish.
But I'll say this much though. Remember me saying to you that the Yamatanishki and the Mark Gardners and what's it called? Vince, that one that you got from Adam Bite over a week? The little bronzy looking one?
Oh, the King Kabuto.
King Kabuto. All those being slightly smaller fish have always been a lot more hiding out and hiding around by the lilies and, staying at the bottom end of the pond, far end. I figured that maybe they were just a little shy because they were a little smaller. Nah, that fish has gone out of pond and they're up there now in the mix, full on feeding like crazy.
He didn't like him.
Well, maybe it's not so much that they didn't like him, but maybe they didn't like the way that he were acting and behaving, and it was spooking them off and keeping them, away from everything what were going on with him bashing around everywhere all the time. It seems like calm and tranquility have been restored to the pond, although it's not a nice thing that he's gone, but the pond's a hell of a lot calmer for it. But, gutted, bit of a shit bit, but it is what it is. That's the first fish I've lost since I've lost some tiddlers, but first fish of a decent size that I've lost since my fish with the what do they call it? When they go pine cone, what's it called?
Oh, dropsy.
But that's 3 years ago. So I haven't lost. I've moved some fish on, but they're still at my dad's. And welcome to anybody who wants to see them. I'm happy to go around there and film and record them. But that's the only fish that a good sized fish that I've lost. I've lost some little tiddlers that does give us, but again, my fault, stupidity, pond pumping dry, get trapped behind plant pots, and basically drying out in length of time it took me to get back home from work.
You had extra ham.
Bit crap, but yeah. So John Cope, I see you put your message up there saying that it's even everyone notification says 8:30, mate. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's my explanation.
Take no notice of it, John.
It says it's 7:30, so I don't get it. I will look into it though and see if there's anything I can do or change about it.
Well, things have settled down in the growing on tank a bit now. They're all swimming about normally and feeding and everything. I did lose my Mark Gardner Gimrinkoshki though. That really did kick me in the bollocks. That one did.
Yeah. What?
A lot of fish been lost this week, mate.
Yeah,
I bet there has, mate.
Does seem like
the
it.
heat as well.
The heat's triggered a few issues, isn't it?
The metallic Natsukaubaki. Yeah, I lost that one as well.
No.
What about the Yamatanashki?
I lost that one. Seskas is still swimming about in there, all fine.
That's what made me think. Oh, no, he hadn't lost that bit.
Seskas and Rennie's Mark Gardner fish are swimming around absolutely fine, smashing the food. But yeah.
But you're too late. I'd like to say that's a better way round, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, It kind of means
It
you're
is and it isn't, you know, because the last thing I want is someone else's fish dying that I'm holding, you know what I mean? So that in itself is a plus that hasn't happened, but at the same time, there's a real kick in the nuts on the negative because it was all the fish that I really wanted to watch progress, and you know what I mean? And like I said on the video, start of the week, you know, it's always the ones you want to watch progress, or your best one in the pond that ends up going fucking tits up.
Yeah. Normally it's a shower. If you've got showers, they always seem to die first. The most expensive fish.
It's always the case, isn't it? It's the ones that you're fond of. That ends up with them, the ones with the problem.
Oh yeah, it's sod's law.
But yeah, so we lost a broodstock this week out of nowhere. Just getting all the Gosanki ready to go in for breeding. Day before, main male kahaku, boff, dead. Just come in the morning. Been in that pond 10 years, probably 8-10 years. Used, looked fine. Yeah, literally the day before it's due to go in for its business, dead. And you're like, that's sod's law, isn't it? But
it's always the way.
Fish in that pond, it must be 60 fish in that pond, all absolutely buzzing and mint. Yeah, and just suddenly bang, one dead. And you think, well, that's just.
Speaking in your group, Vince, of a day, and Skeggy said some of that, but it did make a lot of sense when you think about it, really. Most koi keepers at some point or at some stage over a year or so might keep anything from 20 to 24 fish in the pond. Anybody that's got a really big pond, might have 60, 70, 100 fish, depending on the size of the pond. And at some point or at some stage, you're always going to lose one from something or other, whether it be natural causes, whether it be parasites, whatever it might be. I think when you've gone, as Skeggy said, when you've gone 3 years without losing anything, you've done pretty good. You've done pretty lucky. But, it's trying to.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that the calm's been recreated in the pond, but I'd much rather it not been recreated from that. I would have much rather have been a cure what were wrong and get it right. That's the balls and a half. Tried way too many, well, not way too many things, but I tried so many different things.
You did.
I mean, the only thing I will say that when I had a look at it, and I don't really know what, I don't do it with any of my others. Well, I might sedate one at some point and do it and have a look. But his gills were beautiful colour, nice, nice red, healthy colour, nice pinky red, healthy colour. But they looked small. They looked short. They didn't look long.
Could have been.
When you flick a gill plate up, you can see them stacking row after row after row after row.
Yeah.
They all looked short and clumped together.
That could be a genetic defect that would only show up as the fish gets bigger. He's struggling more and more for oxygen. He's the one that's got small lungs, basically.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it? Because this was one that on when would it have been? Sunday night, I carried our Ted out and we went out to go feed him. We threw some food on, and it was by the water return, just to the left hand side of the water return. But he kept his pecs out wide like that, and he stood, and he must have done it for like 15 seconds or so, and he just doing that vigorously with his head, shaking his head like crazy, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but real violent type of shake, but not propelling forward. He weren't doing nothing with his tail, and I thought, I ain't never seen anything like that before. And then day after, gone, done.
But that's obviously something either irritating or lodged in his throat, irritating his gills. He's trying to shift something.
It sounds gill related, doesn't it?
I'd only just fed.
You were playing heavy metal underwater, weren't you?
Yeah. That's kind of like it was, like shaking his head like that's how violent it was, Vince. But I'd only fed little 3 mil pellets, and I'd only just put a couple of handfuls on, and he didn't even come to him to get in it. He was there in that position, kind of looking a bit sorry for himself, and then shook his head like nuts, and then thrashed around pond a little bit, and then come up and fed.
But you imagine people coughing. You coughed, didn't you? They can't cough. breathe
Yeah,
heavy,
and
shake their heads.
Yeah, so that's trying to clear some if that's might possibly lodged or whatever. Never seen it like that before myself ever before. Weird.
What about brown blood disease or
Ammonia.
ammonia?
The gills go brown when they get brown blood
Yeah,
disease.
but
It was all
ammonia-
fish, and it was
ammonia
they
can
were
make
all,
shrivel back, burn them back, like the filaments on them. I wonder if that, you say the gills look smaller. I wonder if
You will with ammonia burns, but it won't be.
I really had to pull the gills up, like that kind of to get to see them. And then I thought, right, I'll see if I could. They don't even look like there's any separation in them. So I tried to, and then obviously you could see that there was separation, but they would just look instead of I would have expected them to be kind of that length, and they look more, look more like half the length of what I expected them to be, which is weird as shit. But I mean, I didn't have a look at any of the other fish, obviously, while they're alive, because it's such a good idea.
no.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, that's one thing I'm not comfortable with when that's going near gill plates or gills when they're still living.
Well, Dad said same. Week before, like when I were in trouble when he was scraping clean, he said, "Have you done a gill scrape?" And I'm like, "No chance, I'm not doing that." I just won't fancy it. I'd be worried about damaging them or doing something to them. So I thought, nah.
You can snip a little bit of the filament off.
I was just about to say that if you are very careful, you can snip a tiny little bit off the end with a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
well, as it happens, I could have done it, couldn't I? Because it wouldn't have made an ounce of chuffing difference, would it? Because it'd have been dead weight there anyway. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing is, if it's just him doing it, it's different, isn't it?
that's what I mean. Yeah, just him, nothing else flashing. There's nothing else responding.
How we doing, Willa?
Like he was nothing.
If it's just him doing it.
Yes, people.
Yes, we can hear ourselves back through your camera, Will. We can hear ourselves looping on your sound, Will.
Turn your YouTube down.
Turn your sound down because we can hear us playing in the background.
What? Stupid
Whichever
thinking
one
me,
you've
innit?
got it playing on.
I bet that
on TV.
Being part of it.
There we go.
See? Right, do you know? Sorry. So this is a quick one. This is the only reason why I've come on. This is for Rick. This. So, remember me babies I got.
Yes.
So, and you knew where they came from. Well, they came from you, but you knew the batch and that. Some of them are bigger than the others.
Yeah.
As in feeding. I'm gonna show you now. Hang on.
I love Will. He's great.
I love YouTube. You know his boss. Hang on.
I'm glad. I love him to see new people start new channels. And still buzzing.
Oh yeah, I
His
love it.
washing line.
Might turn it around.
Yeah. Oh God. Settings.
Oh look, the washing's on the line and everything.
You can see it's all Will.
You know.
You should be able to press it, Will. You should be able to press it. You should be able to go to settings, then screen, and then front to back.
No, that's too technical for me.
No, I'll just do this then.
Oh, do you know what? Sack it. But have a look at my video today. Some of me babies are proper, like some of me little ones are smaller than the other ones, but it's the tags. The tags are freaking monsters already.
Just because they're from the same spawning doesn't mean they're all going to grow the same size, Will.
Which one? Lost a little one?
Me koakus, my little orange ones.
Where did they come from? The Kahakus came from Adam Bayer, didn't they?
No, these are my first lot I got. These I bought from a Scouse lad up here for 20 quid for 12. That he got from Rick from New Forest.
And you did all right. You got the metallic Chagoy, didn't you?
Yeah, no, they're proper good. They're proper. Going to koi so soon, these.
I got Susan and my daughter sat here, and they love laughing their ass off at your accent, Will.
These ones?
Yes,
that's the ones.
I know it. Right, look what How did you get on? Oh, that's from my video, isn't it?
Will,
They're all the same.
I've got a camera in your garden, Will. I can look whenever I
Is
want.
that your dog?
Look, those are that freaking monster.
Nice, eh?
Isn't it? Look.
They're the same ones Vince had in his tank, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's from the Metallica tuba spawning, isn't it?
Yeah. And the same ones that you've lost, they're the same batch.
I mean, they must be big because that dog's huge.
But see the metallic one?
Yeah, yeah.
Grand champion. I'll let you have it for £1,000.
Thanks, mate. You're even pointing at it.
Look at it. Massive, isn't it? So anyway,
Good.
are they just greedier than the others, or?
The metabolism's quicker, so they'll grow faster, they'll eat more, then they're a bit bigger, so they can eat more the next day, grow a bit faster. Before you know it, they're a lot bigger than the rest of them.
I'll need a new pond.
So what you've got to do is you've got to start feeding them individually. Well,
How the hell am I doing that?
Do you not do it with a syringe?
Oh, fuck off. You're taking a piss now, aren't you?
I'm going to just keep putting up people's hellos
Will,
and welcomes.
gotcha.
Right,
look
no,
good,
I'm
mate.
getting off now because I'm still twisting for somebody.
Hey, keep twisting. Keep
Nice one,
twisting.
guys. Cheers. See you later. I'm getting off. Sorry, that was just a quick.
That's
Bye.
all right, mate. Feel free to drop in whenever you want, bud.
Nice
That's what
one.
the link's
I'm
for.
still watching the live while I'm twisting. Nice one. Bye.
You have to put it back on again now. Turn your time back on. He's mad as a box of frogs.
I love his enthusiasm.
He's wicked. He is wicked.
Thank you for joining us, Will. Anybody
I
else?
love him a bit.
That's what I would like to fill the night with random people just coming in. If you want to show us some fish, show us your pond, whatever you feel.
The thing is, Gaz,
line.
he's like that every day in, day out, because I chat with Will regularly, and yeah, he is as batty as a box of frogs, but yeah, he's got half a goal.
Vince, he's been to hell and back, and yet he still has a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking right, you know.
That's what makes him a true champ, mate. Really does.
Yeah.
And
he dropped a plug in for his video today.
He
Yep.
did. And he
He
actually got it.
managed to get a plug on his video as well.
If anybody else wants to see that video, go check out Will's channel. You can have a read through. But look at the size of his dog. I mean, those are some 90 cm chags he's got in there. That dog's huge.
Yeah. Wow.
A big grand champion. I'll let you have it for $1,000. Oh, dear. Right, let's have a quick flick through. We've got a couple of Charlie Brown says, love the intro, Gaz. Thank you very much, mate. Mr. Tropical Koi says, evening, Gaz, Vince, and Daz, and Rick.
Evening, Nick.
I turned up.
Sharpie's Koi says, you warm, Vince, brother? Yeah. Warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said to him, I says, are you gonna put a top on so you don't scare all the viewers away? Like, and then he explained as to why. I'm like, no, go on then. All right. But it gets a bit warm from the meds. So
I've covered a bit.
Boy band. Look at this boy band. Sesky's Reef and Pond says hi out everyone. Oh, should
Evening, Sesky.
everyone.
Twisted and the grey hairs.
Oh. Nice try.
Come on.
Is that
We've
it?
lost
Has
those.
he done a runner?
I reckon so. Are you not going to give him a shout out then, Vince?
Give him a shout. Vince, can you
Nice
give
try,
Mike
William.
a shout? His name is Mike to Coxmall. What was the one? Will, the one that you did on Dave, man. Oh, freaking Halloween, man, with that. That was good. That was brilliant. It did make me giggle. What was it? Lou. Can you give my mate a shout out, Lou Sassel or something?
Yeah.
But it was basically loose asshole. But yeah, they were like,
I don't think Dave even noticed, did he?
well, not at first he didn't, but until we pointed it out, then he did. That was a good one. Right,
Good old
what we got here then? Will's Kite, that's a good one. It is. Laughing faces. Nipping Kite says, press the thumbs up, people. 39 watching, only 19 thumbs up. Right, guys, you keep coming back week in, week out. I expect you to give us some thumbs up. Helps the channel grow, helps support the community.
Oh, yes.
Paul Butler, glad to see you back, mate. Had a bit of a breakdown on the old bank today, which is a bit of a good to me. Humbercoy, Will, not sure that will work again. I don't mind. Mr. Lawson says, good evening, all. Thanks for joining us, mate. We got Skeggy in with a boom.
Evening, Skeggs.
Mic drop.
Yeah, cheers, Skeg, for the chat and the the help that you were giving us over there. Life around the koi pond says, hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. Fish have spawned and fertilized. It's a pity we had to get rid as it wouldn't be fair to keep them. Well, like fish eating. It's protein. It would have absorbed it all back in. Oh.
I'm doing the shuffle today.
Switcheroo.
We're all doing the switcheroo.
Magic.
What the fuck was going on there?
Ricky Brown says, sorry to you about Yamabuki guys, I lost my Tancho this week. See, crap. Well, hopefully, mate, if you had any pictures of it, you can still share it with us so we can see how good a fish it was. Don't necessarily have to be a bad thing, does it? I mean, if you kept it and looked after it for a fair few years, mate, hopefully you can get yourself a new one at some point. But yeah, there you go. Somebody else has lost a fish. Actually, say that, it didn't really start to be a problem until the water temperatures got a lot hotter.
Yeah. I think that's been the same for everybody, hasn't it?
My best mate came around to see me earlier today, and we went in Long Block. And inside Long Block, temperature is like 32 degrees.
Yeah, I swear to God. Right, well, now, tell me in comments if you want, guys. I have got another video ready to drop. I intended to get it out and drop last night, but God damn, Daz, we recorded a long video, 1 hour, 28 minutes. So, if anybody's interested and you want to
what's your name,
if you've got what? Well, we thought we'd do a little bit of grading. And then from the grading, we had lunch. Then after lunch, we did the growing ponds and we put the cappings on. But we had a giggle and a laugh, as we always do. So I put it all together and stuck it out as a video. But it's not. It's still private. Now, if anybody wants it as maybe a premiere on Friday evening, I could drop it Friday, drop it Saturday, or I can put it straight on after live. It's entirely up to yourself.
Put it straight on after the live.
But it is an hour and 28 minutes long, so you are going to need a drink and some popcorn. But
and some matchsticks.
You've been taking lessons from me, haven't you?
Dad's proper had me in stitches, man. I wished I'd just left the camera rolling. It was some funny bits. We first of all, we had a problem with the circular saw. And I'm not saying no more. After the circular saw, when we worked it out, we were drilling some holes. And Daz went over to drill some holes. And then he walked back over to cut some wood on the circular saw. After he just unplugged and moved the extension over to use it on the drill. And then he continued to do that sequence for about, I don't know, maybe half an hour. About 6 times. Going over for one tool. Back over and plug it over. And he did it again and again and again. It's obviously more funny when you're there, but God damn, it didn't make me giggle. We had a good laugh.
Things just haven't stopped eating.
Sorry, Vince, mine have been eating like crazy. They have. But it's proper good to see that Yamato Nishiki coming up, and it's firing up, and it's firing that food down its neck now, plus the Mark Gardner. It's going crazy for it.
Yeah.
Now then, I've got a question for you, Vince. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up, is because of your last video. Somebody made a comment about bottom drain, or you put one in the bottom of your pond. Have you noticed that you only get a lot of poo in the bottom of your pond when you feed to those massive handfuls of mealworms?
No.
No.
And to be totally honest, I've turned the skimmer pump down, and the poo on the floor has got even less.
I was wondering if it might feed. Well, every time I feed mealworms, come the following morning, there is some big turds on bottom of the pond. But obviously, fish swim past and then it goes up bottom drain like. But it seems more
I
so when
find if I leave the skimmer off for a long period of time after feeding mealworms, I do get a lot of protein foam start building up on the pond surface. But other than that, no, I don't. And at the moment, they're getting more of the mealworm and black soldier fly larvae to ratio a pellet at the moment.
Right. That's good. I'm going to keep my eye on it and see if it's just coincidental. But I do feed like you did. Like you said, if you start feeding them mealworms, sometimes they only get switched on to the mealworm and they start ignoring the pellet. So I've mixed pellets, mealworms, freshwater shrimps, and all lot as a bundle. So they all lot together. But they go around the pellets and leave them till last and go for everything else first.
My dad was saying that the old gamma shrimps are becoming hard to come by.
Yeah.
Because most of the gamma shrimp suppliers were in Russia.
The little dudes.
Yeah, the wood lice.
Yeah. I got some from Japanese water garden for a week. I got plenty there. But they don't know what is it?
That was full about a week ago.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And like I say, that's a mixture of the both. That's mealworm and black soldier fly larvae. Andy?
Now, there you go, Andy. I've just said same. It's never 8:30, mate. It's something to do with YouTube. It's not me. I'm putting it out and I'm putting it out for 7:30. It will always be 7:30, regardless to whatever it says. It won't be 8:30, but I'm going to look into it. There's obviously something cocked up somewhere along the line, but
Are you sure you haven't logged into a European server or something, and that's why it's giving you an hour difference?
My PC says 20:08, which is 8 minutes past 8, so it's bang on.
You've not set an alarm. You've not set an alarm, have you?
It's all done through Steam.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Last week, after the show, what did you have to say? What were all that you needed to say at the end of it?
Google, set an alarm.
You set the alarm on my computer somehow.
I spoke to my Google device just behind my PC there, and I set a timer. And the timer went off, and I thought, so I stopped it. But the timer alarm's still going on for ages. And we sat there going, turn your alarm off, guys. I mean, I've done, I've stopped it. Well, nobody else has got one. And we went through everybody's microphone. We found out that I somehow sent mine and Rick's on his PC, and he tried everything to stop it. We were saying all things that I said, his wouldn't stop. But I tried even talking to it through my microphone.
We were in stitches.
All needed to say was Google stop.
Yeah.
But it's not like that.
No, I don't want to say it because I said it again, but I had to start with OK Google and then off, you see.
There you go. Oh,
OK
cool.
Google.
I can search.
No, go away.
Got it.
Yes, there you go. You just got me back then. You could have said, you wanted order a butt plug or whatever.
Yeah, you could.
We've got an evening koi lovers. Willie's buzzing lobby. That's exactly, mate. It's brilliant to see somebody come on and be so enthusiastic about his koi. Even though they are little whoppers, going to be grand champions. I mean, that's the bit about it. I love to see someone that's as crazy mad about koi keeping as what we all are.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He's done all right with them. What did he say? He got 12 for 20 quid. He paid like
Yeah.
80p each. And that's a nice fish.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
One's out there. Right,
Some
then.
crackers in there.
We do have a question. Question. What's ye temperatures? Mine's at 22 degrees C. Right,
There you
I'll let you all go. Vince, what temperature?
Give me a second.
Yeah, we're all going to have to do this mad dash now. You know that, don't you? We're all going to have to do a mad dash. Rick
Yeah,
don't know
mine-
because he's been miles away. Daz
I
is
do
miles away.
know. We're all over the place.
I know what mine got to today. So at present, I'm at 25. So bang
Yeah,
on.
we got ponds from 20 to 32,
Yeah.
depending where they are.
I think mine in the tunnel must be in the low 30s.
Yeah.
In fact, I put my head over the tank this morning and it felt like it was a hot bath. I could almost feel the steam coming up.
Yeah, the heat coming up.
Yeah.
Daz, in your polytunnel was stupid on Sunday, mate. It was absolutely nuts. Walking,
Unbearable.
filming, camera lens steaming up. Like, hell, it was nuts. Standing there for 30 seconds, sweat dripping off your arms.
Yeah.
Filming there for 30 seconds, walk straight back out, can't do this anymore. We're crazy. Go on, Vince, what you at?
Main pond is at 22.5. Toadside tank is at 24.9. IBC tank is at 21.9. And the growing on tank is about 25.
Yeah.
Unheated.
Yeah,
That's without a heater running in it.
so many different fluctuations for different positions in garden, man. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see your front
Don't
garden.
forget, though, that the
front garden pond,
the toadside tank is encased in perspex as well, don't forget. So it always tends to run 2 to 3 degrees higher than the main pond anyway.
yeah. Last year, though, your front garden pond were like 6, 7, maybe 8 degrees higher, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Than your
Yeah.
back one. You
I mean, we did a temperature gun on the actual air itself last year in the height of summer, and the front garden was sitting at 46 degrees. Came out into the back garden, it was sitting at about 35 degrees. But the stones that edged the front of the pond, they were sitting at 56. Hence why the stones are going to be coming off and be replaced with decking or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some serious heat, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Burning you
well,
when you
we've had
come in,
people come round and visit, and they've gone to lean on the pond, and they burnt themselves. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I like to be able to lean on my pond edge and stuff like that. And in this sort of weather, it's just you're not able to.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be up around the 24 to 25 mark, which is a good indication that we're all
Good
getting
growing
decent.
conditions. All these Yamatonashis should start growing now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, if that little thing keeps smashing food like it is, I'm going to get some size on that. And Vince, I hate to say this, mate, and it'd make a little bit of lightheartedness. I beat you.
Yeah, I know you did. You fucking shit it.
better to make a bit of lighthearted joke out of it, mate.
Hey, mate, no, but at the end of the day, though,
I
guys,
know somebody that's got an ugly one, though, if you want it.
it's livestock, though, you know, and livestock are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too right.
We could always get you a new one dished out, couldn't we, Rick? And he has to.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, he can't be in the competition anymore because he's already lost.
Well, as long as it's not number 30 that's been trashed already.
It's grown now.
It's growing.
To be fair, where the pattern's fallen off, it's looking much better.
Does it now look like,
Is it really that bad?
Human room.
It's not great at the minute, but you know, it could blossom.
Yeah. Might be late.
The season's not over yet.
Yeah.
Koi says, thanks, Gaz. Went with the PTFE tape. Quick works and does the job.
So
Plumber's
I'll grab some plumbers, mate.
Yeah, plumber's tape for everything, mate. That's what it stands for, PTFE.
Yeah.
So, did you manage to get any Gosanki spawnings done then, Rick, despite losing the male?
Well, they've just been moved in today, so I'm going back to work early hours for however long. Yeah, some good fish gone in. Fingers crossed.
So, do you think that they will kick off tonight?
Hope so. Yeah,
So it's warm enough.
it's too hot. That's the trouble.
I missed that question. Who's going the national?
I am Sunday.
Is that this Sunday?
No, I'm going on the Sunday.
Are you going on the Sunday? What day is it? The first?
4th of July, I
First
think.
and second.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was the
early
first
July.
and second.
Yeah,
I thought it was the first and the second.
yeah. I think you're right. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, the first and the second would be the Saturday and the Sunday.
Cheers, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll be going up on the second.
A trip to the national to come on with a fish.
He's off to the Cotswolds.
I am, yeah.
But Estelle, there'll be a slight detour from the Cotswolds to the national to pick up Daz's birthday present.
Oh, in Coventry, it's more than a slight detour.
A slightly big detour. Didn't kill me.
Yeah. I'm still in trouble for going away on the bloody anniversary.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, who's gone?
You disappeared then. You got in trouble.
I did disappear. Right. Well, I'm going to say yes. I will be there. I think we'll all us lot will probably be there.
I'm hoping to go on the Sunday if I can.
Maybe not Daz, because Daz will be having to do a large detour and he'll be in the doghouse, even though it is his birthday and should be allowed to go to a detour.
It
Pick a
depends.
fish.
It might not be stopping over now, so I might be able to wangle it. I'll have a word. Do some negotiating.
That's it, Daz. You have to wear some extra patties.
So, like, say, fighting spirit.
That's it's your birthday. Just remember.
Yeah, you're right. God damn it.
It's my birthday and I'll cry if I want to.
You can have your birthday party, Daz, at the national, should Estelle allow it.
Didn't Alan say there's a bouncy castle there this year? Give him the bumps.
It's supposed to be all good bits and bobs with kids and stuff there, yeah.
That's
Yeah, but the
dangerous
only one of
time
us
age.
that will be able to get away with going on the bouncy castle is Daz.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vince.
There you go, Rick. Rick Brown says, I'm hoping to pop down to New Forest Koi very soon. I hope that you get another tan show.
Be lucky. You better wait until we harvest some.
Perhaps you might want to wait a little while.
Yeah. Maybe give us a ring.
Or ring first.
I got two nice Tanto Goshki from New Forest.
That's why we got none left, Vince. People like you keep buying them all.
Got an evening
No,
there
the-
for
the-
MGH Koi.
The big one was my birthday present, so you can't.
So it's not in your pond then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Question from Hillsley who says, Rick, do you think those fry I got from you will be okay on blood?
There's another word to that.
I'm guessing that's bloodworm or what? Or just blood.
Just
Turn them into vampire
just,
koi.
just
It's
slice the
happening
vein and
so
drip it in.
Blood orange? What? Got an evening, Mike, from Koi Beginnings.
How are we doing, Mike?
Oh,
Evening,
there
Mike.
you go. Bloodworms. Right.
They'll love them, but it'll go. They'll eat all. They just eat so much.
Yeah.
That
And the other thing is, you want to make sure that what's it called now?
Gamma treated.
They need to be gamma radiation treated, because if you don't, and they've got you can end up with parasites and like some kind of shiznit that goes on in the red.
disease or something, yeah.
So make sure that if you're getting frozen bloodworm, the gamma treated, mate.
there you
The
go.
IBC tank gets about 8 blocks a day of bloodworm.
They
It
should
gets
be massive
expensive
by
though,
now.
doesn't
Okay, coming on, but I emptied the fish tank into the IBC tank today.
This is Mr. Webb's opinion,
Yeah.
all in my view. But if a pump-fed or bottom drain pond and flow is set up correctly, there shouldn't be crap/stroke pool lying on the bottom of the pond. What happens when they literally just do it then? Does it instantly go from one end of the pond and down the drain? No, it doesn't. Depends where they shit, doesn't it? Or
Yeah,
if
and as I've stated, my bottom drain, because we ended up having to do an emergency rebuild
Oh,
6 years ago, and the bottom drain never got moved. So one, the bottom drain isn't central. Two, the pond itself isn't square or rectangle. It's sort of squeezes in. So that's why I get the odd bit of poo on the floor. But there's a bit on the floor in the morning when I get up. By the time I've fed them and lunchtime comes, it's gone because the bottom drain's got it. Once they start getting active again, I mean, I can look in there now, and the bottom is absolutely spotless.
We did notice something. We watched your video overnight, me and Mike, and thought if you actually look from, if you come out of your little building and stand directly wall facing your pond, the left-hand side of your drain cover looks closer and lower than the right-hand side. Now, I don't know if that's deliberate or whether it's just took a little bit of a knock and it's not positioned perfectly, but it looks like that.
You'll probably find that was me. Because when I was having the blanket weed problems, I was using the pull-through. And what's happened is, when I've gone in with the pull-through, I've tapped the dome, and that's why it's
you've definitely knocked it down at the left-hand side of it. So if you might find it a little better if you take it out and put it in the conservatory.
No, this is a spare one.
way better in the pond.
And I'm going to be building myself an airing to go on there, and then I'll give my mate a call, and he can go in and put it on for me. Goodbye.
So you don't fancy scuba Steve in it then now?
No. I think you're a bit too far for scuba Steve to come.
All you need is a piece of hose pipe, peg on your nose, hose pipe in your mouth, your lass holding it with a finger over the top. You drop in with some weights around your waist. She lets you breathe whenever she wants. What could go wrong?
Tell you what, next time you're down, Gaz, you can do it for me.
As long as it's sunny, I'd do it. As long as we got to change the gloves. But I'm not trusting you with a fucking hose pipe in your thumb over and do it. That is for sure.
Bring a few pellets down it, couldn't you?
Yes.
Tokyo One said, "Hello, people. Is it the norm when you guys feed your fish treats like black soldier fly larvae that they flick and flash a lot afterwards, mealworms and such, mate?" Yes, not a lot, but they do. Give them a crush first, mate, before you throw them in. The big full ones, if they're a smaller fish, they get them a little bit lodged in the gills, so they do tend to flash and flick them out a little bit. Or you can soak them first before you feed them. Softens them up.
Yes.
It's a bit easier to. But
you can also soak them in orange juice as well, fresh orange juice, because then you're getting vitamin C into them as well.
These fish are well looked after, aren't they?
Yeah. They get looked after better than we do.
Do you stand by the pond with your little pot of caviar?
You feed your fish. The Munga mix has got more concoctions, bits and bats, and all sorts of stuff in it than any of them.
Well, yeah, but it's commercial, isn't it?
This is just orange juice. You've got carrot juice. You've got, I don't know, what were there?
Beetroot.
7 or 8? Yeah, got all sorts in it. Works as well.
That look. Shiro's looking nice there, Vince.
That Shiro hasn't stopped fucking eating, Rick.
Because we ain't fed it much in the shop, are we?
Yeah. But yeah.
There we go. There's a question from Mike at Coy Beginnings. What's the highest amount of food you have been able to use with just a standalone Easy Pod? 20 litres of K1 in it.
Well, I honestly don't know because I've never really weighed the food that I was feeding when I had just the Easy Pod running on the grown on tank down the bottom. And the toast eye tank itself isn't just running on the Easy Pod, it's got that shower going as well. But once it hit about 24 to 26 degrees on the old grown on tank, I would like to hazard a guess the amount of food that I was actually chucking in because it was going in by the handful and it was disappearing.
Well, I weighed mine out yesterday. What I've been feeding this week while it's been warm, 145 grams, which is compared to somebody like Mr. Lee Hadfield, that's banging in 500 grams. I know that's a heck of a lot less, but I reckon I could have given them more easily. I mean, I was talking to Daz, and I went out there at 10:30, 11, feeding fish. And I just kept throwing them, not a massive handful.
It's not massive handfuls. It's just. Yeah.
Well, that's what I did. I did like that, and I weighed that out, and I thought, how many have I given them like that today? Plus, how many handfuls of feed have I given them today? Which was at that time was 9. 9 little handfuls that, so many in the morning before I leave, then when I get home, then again, and again. And it was 150 grams. I did it with Daz and worked it out. I thought, I'll just wonder roughly what am I kind of feeding? 150 grams. I don't know if that's too much. It's certainly not too much for filters because they're running fine and all my parameters are cock on now. But I reckon I could probably step it up more, and I know they definitely eat more without a doubt. Without a doubt, for sure.
Well, I'm actually. I was going to do it today, but look, things got ahead of me. Even time just disappeared again because Brad got round and that. But Brad dropped in a Colombo test kit, so I'm going to have a look at that tomorrow. First time I've ever used a Colombo one, so
yeah,
let's see how that one fares.
So you don't know that one, Vince? I don't even know what it is because I don't have an Easy Pod. But
don't.
Vince just grabs it, throws them in, and feeds it. Yeah, same as me.
To be honest, the original biofilters with plastic media was 1 kilogram of food a day per meter cubed of media. So 20 litres is nothing in terms. So, but the media's moved on. So K1's got a much bigger surface area. So you could probably say that's got a 5 times bigger surface area. So for every meter cubed of filter media, you could put up to 5 kilos of food. A meter cubed of filter is 1,000 litres, isn't it? So you could do some maths. You're probably coming down to 100 grams of food or whatever at tops. But you'd have to do the maths on that. So yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's 5 kilos for a meter cubed of media. 1,000 litres. You might have to come back to me on that. I'll get an answer for you.
Good. Quick math. I can't do math.
No.
I can't do quick math.
Not me either. Oh, yeah, Colombo test kit. Yeah, Vince, let me know what it's like, mate.
I will do. I'm going to do a proper round of tests. I'm going to do every single system. The only thing I've found on there, different to like the the API one, is the time slots. I mean, each one you've got to wait 15 minutes. One you got to wait 5 minutes, and so
that's the trouble with them all, isn't it?
100 grams.
Yeah.
100 grams.
That's exactly what I said. That's a miracle.
So you're not that bad at math after all.
Maybe you might have to redo that, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend going that high, but that'd be your maximum with mature media with a sensible food. And you think how much media you've got? You've got hundreds of litres in yours, Gaz, and you're only feeding 140 grams.
Yeah. So I could
I keep telling you to feed more, boy.
feed them more. Yeah. I'm going to try
5
it.
kilo a day,
If I try it and regular maintain and water test and make sure that my filters are maturing with it. Now, this I've just seen there one DT's message there. Do you think the slowly and steadily increasing in food helps with filter maturation?
Yes.
As opposed to, going from 50 grams to Right, red hot weather. I'm going to feed 150 grams. You're better off to bring it up in slow increments, bit by bit, so your media, your filter can catch up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. You got to build things up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll have such an ammonia spike. You'll be killing things before. Yeah.
Well, we've got
Rose.
Skingy's pond, fry tank 28, fish tank 31. My fish tank is 32. But it is a tropical tank, but the heat is switched off. It's just that warm in here. But when I came home, it was 34 degrees. So the tropicals should be massive by now. And then the polytunnel at 22, pond 22, polytunnels at 25.9. So that's yours is way hotter than that, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Way hotter than that.
It's south facing all day though. This is the trouble. It's just sun from morning till night.
Jacob Swin says, is that right?
Yes,
Hi all,
Jacob.
been watching for a couple of months now. Always a great chat. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying it.
What's he been watching?
I said you don't forget.
He said, I think he said.
Ricky.
Well,
Who asked you? Share the mealworms.
Mike, 100 to 120 grams per day on average protein food, around 30% high protein will be less. There you go. Pretty much mirrored what you just said there. Same as. Let's see. Have we got any other questions coming in? Danielle Smee says, hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
I think I've gone through most of the other people that said hi and hello and what have you. Crafty Koi says, unfortunately, I can't attend this year's national due to work commitments. So I'm counting on you guys to get some great footage. I will be recording it all as I always do. So you'll be able to see every single fish.
Oh, Crafty. Don't panic. There's going to be some.
Give us dates, didn't he, for his Momotaro event?
What was that, sorry?
He needs to give us some dates, doesn't he? When he doing a Momotaro event at Perfect
yeah.
Cracks?
Yeah, he would.
He has actually just sent me a message. That might have been what was on it. Let me have a double check.
But yeah, Crafty, there'll be plenty of footage from the national. Don't you panic. I've already got that covered.
We've got this.
You haven't got it, you're not going.
I've got this covered.
Yeah.
You
I
watch
won't
this
be there,
space,
but we've got
Crafty,
this.
my man. You watch this space.
7 hours of it.
Have a look. Right, Crafty, I'm just going to put your little message down there. I'm going to share this so that people can see. Settings. Wrong one. Share screen. These are nice. Them are the fish.
Is he got him shipped back, is he?
Do you like this flowery one?
You're pointing at the screen that I know what you're looking at.
This one down here.
Sorry,
Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks very much like a 5-step.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
There's a couple in there that I'd pick.
Yeah.
Dibs, I'll have the one at the bottom, on the bottom left now.
Yeah, I like that one as well. Damn it.
I dibsed it. That's mine.
We've even got Ricky Dibs now. Love it. Love it.
I actually quite like that one. Maybe not. I quite like that one there with the spots left hand side on the. Where's it gone now? There in the middle. This one.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got
that's the one I'm talking about, guys. Fuck off. I've already dibsed it.
God damn it. Crafty, can we have another bowl of fish, please? I'd like to dibs mine.
Yeah.
That one's nice as well.
Yeah.
A little smaller, but it's nice. I like the pattern. Yeah. What's the average sizes, Crafty? And that's the Momotaro Kahaka for the Grow on Show Details will be released soon. Thank you very much, mate. Oh, there we go.
We've dibsed him already.
There he is.
That's free. Your fish already dibs, mate. I hope you got that marked down because
Yeah.
the dibs, that's it. You can't sell them to anybody else now. It's too late.
Yeah, it's legally binding.
It's legally binding. These guys owe you
Yep.
sponduli.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. They haven't even survived QT yet, guys.
It's all right. Don't mind. They still have to
Don't
pay.
matter.
They dibs it, which means it belongs to them.
Dead or alive.
Honest
Yeah,
to God, mate,
dibs is dibs, bro.
shotgun. Basically, guys, those Momotaro fish, absolutely, I would say 80 to 90% of the fish that I've got at 170 are absolutely outstanding. There is not a bad fish amongst them. So
I thought he was going to say 80 to 90 centimeters then.
we're looking between 25 and 35 as jumbo tozai at 5-month-old. When I opened the boxes, I nearly shit myself. I ain't going to lie, because you know I didn't know what I bought. I bought blind. They cost a bit of money, as you can imagine, but the quality, the sashi is mint, the shiroji is mint, the beni is so good on every single one of them fish. And we've got everything from your classic 2-step to flowery patterns 5-step, and yeah, there's a few shooters in there that are worth quite a considerable amount of money. But I've got a grading session with Alan Tate on the 10th.
Don't let him at them.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's like, you know, I've got to get him down there, mate, just so he feels important, like, you know. But you know,
my one.
I couldn't believe it, mate. You know, if I'm honest, they're going to be the best event fish this year, in my opinion. And I'm not being biased. Just looking at the quality of them and the size, absolutely outstanding. You know, so we're deep in planning stages now to get these things under wraps. So I've just got to finalise a few details with people, and then I'll release when they're going to come. Excuse me, Mrs. Mate. I'm gonna. I mean,
as long as there's no smashing, that's all. It's all good.
Oh, one might come my way because I've come live again, but
I don't know.
yeah, I'm going to release details once they've all been graded, because that's the end of their QT period. And obviously, I don't want to put things out now for people to start buying, just in case, you know, the inevitable. Harry is on his way to Perfect to go ordering. Yeah, I don't want people to start buying, just in case we do have an outbreak or something. You know, and I don't want to put false hopes at people, but yeah, they're fabulous, man. And I go along to sorry for plugging, Gaz, but if you go on to
no, that's right. Feel free.
Go on to Perfect Aquatics webpage, and you will see regular updates of everything that I'm doing on there, because I'm dropping literally 1, 2, 3 posts a day on different things. So appreciate you letting me come on, Gaz. Thank you.
No, is one. Nice fish, mate. Some good ones in there.
Yeah, mate, I'm well pleased with them. I don't really want to sell them because they're that nice, like. Keep them and watch them.
We'll find out tomorrow, Aaron, because I'll do a video on it.
The only thing that keeps pissing me off is I came up with the dibs. I told all these guys about the dibs, and I get out dibbed now all the damn time. So I start using the grip matcher a bit quicker and dibs real fast. But the thing is, you see, now I've been listening to Mr. Tate, so I like to take my time in the selecting of the fish.
Too late. We dibsed them. You missed out.
Snooze, you lose.
Years and years of experience on me, though, ain't it? It's not fair. God damn it.
There's
but you realise, Ricky, that's it. You can't pick from all the others now. You've made your choice.
I'd have that one signed.
When it comes to the day when we go down, that's your fish. And if anybody else draws that fish, you've got to fight them for it.
Yeah, we'll have a duel. I'll have a boxing ring set up like with knuckle dusters and.
Can we have one of those great big massive gloves? No, those big fucking huge ones. Or big air makers.
Still sumo wrestler outfit.
Sumo suits.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. You got a quick question there, Vince. What's the colour range on the Columbo on the nitrite and nitrate, Vince? If you can let him know when you know, bud. If you don't know already.
I said I'll be doing a video tomorrow when I crack it out and have a look through it.
It's no good to him. He's colourblind, isn't he?
I was going to say it's colourblind, so he needs to be told. You can't just show a picture.
It's red. It's yellow to red on ammonia and blue to green on nitrite, I think.
Aaron, I will spell it out on the screen for you as I go along.
So what's the date, Crafty? You haven't given us a date for this event.
I haven't got one yet because I'm still knuckling down on final preps, but it will be a Saturday. And I've got I've got to ensure that we're doing it in the actual shop, so we have quite a high footfall over a weekend. So I've just got to make sure that I'm not sort of getting in the way of regular shoppers as well, because so it'd probably be an afternoon event to allow people to travel, and then the shop will then close, and then it'll be left to us to have our own little party. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
A lock in.
Yeah,
I'll also be putting on discounts and stuff like that for people to come when they come down as well. We are potentially, again, I'm probably going to get in the shit for this, but potentially looking at doing things like sake at cost for people as well to enter. So you've got a nice bit of food to throw in and grow your koi on as well.
There we go.
Fuck, I look after you boys, don't I?
Don't know yet. We've not been there, but we're open.
No, you.
He beat me to it.
I'm a Yorkshire man. If I come down there and you're not looking after me, I'm definitely going to let you know.
Well, the thing is, mate, I know what it's like. I'm going to have to turn you upside down and shake you. You fucking sleep when you walk.
Yeah, with the correct outside.
Exciting times.
Will's Koi says they're not as good as his 80p bargains, Crafty. I mean, they're going to be DCs, them ones. They're going to be GC champions.
I hope so. I do. Because, everybody that picks a koi up for 80p are beating the trader straight away.
Yeah.
DT Koi says, what sort of price are you looking at, Crafty? Have you got a rough estimation? No, you're not wanting to go that.
Not properly. I haven't. Like I said, I want to get everything through QT.
You get them all for 30 quid a fish, didn't you? I think you were saying a week.
Tell you what, I wish I had done, guys, because I'll pass that on. But
try.
I'm thinking it'd be around £150.
Can't come with.
The first 100 YouTubers there get one for free, and then the rest will be around the 150 quid mark.
Yeah.
On a serious note, though, mate, it is open to anybody, is it? Or is it?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, but I'm doing an invitational YouTube, as well. I want as many YouTubers down so we can come together as a community and then bring your subs with you. That's what we're looking to do. So
there you go, guys. Great.
In my day, subs meant money to pay. Now it just means your mates, doesn't it?
It does really, mate. But it makes you all feel good. I'm thinking of slightly different competitions as well to include in it as well. So your subs, potentially will come as an average grow is what I'm potentially looking at for.
You should do a booby prize.
His subs, Twisty's subs, anyone that comes along, and then what we'll do is add them together, divide them by how many subs have entered, and then do a combined sort of average, for the best average grow as well. Just so it forces
Twisted.
Yeah, just so it forces people to
send
in their pictures and whatnot,
So anybody that watches my channel, you need to get yourself geared up with a real good growing pond. so we can get this smashed, so we can beat Team Twisted.
Yeah, we got to beat Team GKP.
Yeah, there we go. See, inside rivalry. That's what we want to see.
See, you started it already, ain't you, Crafty? The rivalry's off already.
Yeah, but don't it make it fun already? You haven't even got a fucking fish yet.
No.
What team?
At
are
least
you in?
I had dibs, man. I'm going to try and pick the biggest one that's there now. Just to sort of
Sorry, Ricky, you're part of Team Twisted.
Is that right?
It's Team New Forest.
Hang on, Rick's got his own subs.
Yeah.
I haven't got a channel yet.
But you
I've
still
got one
your own
subscriber.
subs.
He's from Asia.
So here you go. All that needs to happen is anyone that follows any of these guys and wants to be in Rick's team, just put down I'm in Rick's team. Sorted, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, New Forest. I am the first official New Forest grouper.
Groupie, like an hangabout.
Does hang about a lot.
No comment.
Simon says, I can see this going to the car park. Back in with the sumo suits. Johnny says, I'm in. Who's you in though, Johnny? That's what you need to be saying. Which is it? Team GKP, Team Twisted, or Team New Forest, or Team Daz's Koi Farm?
Or Team Crafty. Don't forget me.
Team
Like.
Crafty as well. All right, shit, mate. How bad? You're on your own, Sean. Or sleep.
Yeah, Pickle. Right, guys, I've got friends just arrived, so I'm going to drop off the live for a minute.
No worries, mate.
Get the
Speak to you in a
stuff,
bit.
mate.
See you later.
Nipping Koi, I'm Team Crafty. See you in a bit.
Cheers, Nige.
That's
And
just
Dimitris
that's
as
cheating.
well.
Yeah. I'm Team. Will says I'm Team Rick. There we go.
Nice one in for me. I'll have that.
Your bard.
One of these.
Block them, guys. Block them.
all these people that are putting up anything other than Team Jim Kick, can you not see the viewers going down? Hashtag Team Yorkshire. Yeah. In fact, you'll be hashtag Humbercoy, wouldn't you? So you'll be doing yourself.
You'd have to pick his for him, though, wouldn't you? Or you could bring his lad down. He'd do a good job.
Yeah.
Team Bubble.
I've started some up here now. Everyone wants a chapter.
We've all got one so far.
How many fish you got? 150?
170.
Team GKP and Daz get in.
Oh,
We've
bless
got
you,
one.
mate.
There's always one, isn't there?
Mike. Such an arse licker, isn't he? It's mad.
Has anybody got any questions you would like to ask? Ricky Brown says Team New Forest.
They're not my subscribers yet, are they?
G Math says Team GKP. Really gets in.
That's not allowed.
That's two for me, one for everybody else so far. No, actually, Rick's got the most so far.
I'll have to grow more for
no,
him.
Will's changed his mind now as was to be now. Sorry, Team Pinko. It means DT Koi. Seskia's Reef and Pond says Team Question. Ooh. Skeggy says Team Me, Myself, and I. Carol says got to go. Watch catch up tomorrow. Take care, Carol. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Look lovely in your picture, Carol.
She's bowing out.
Hope you had a nice evening. Let's see. I think we did have one or two questions on Facebook. Look at them. New Forest Colours there. Look, very nice, Rick. I just come straight up on my Facebook feed. Some of your pictures of your fish there, mate.
Are they? Good stuff.
I'll show you.
You're
Show you when
showing
we've
me.
done it. Well, you'll have already seen them, obviously. I'll show everybody else.
You're not doing an appreciation tonight, are you?
No, that's next week. It's going to be for all koi tancho types.
Yeah. I'll have to start looking around for one.
Tony Barker has
You're in
said,
the shop,
now,
big,
this,
didn't you?
Yes,
this is a
everyone's
reasonable topic, to be fair.
with the Stanley knife and the marker pen.
The stencil.
With the weather getting warmer or getting hotter, what actions can koi keepers do to safeguard their ponds, i.e. more air, more frequent water changes, etc.? Might be some help for any of the newcomers to the hobby. Good call. Anybody want to lead off with something like that? And what you would do, what you do, what?
I'll put
Prevent
one out
stimulation.
that people tend to forget. Shade. Right? Everybody always mentions adding extra air stones, etc. But one thing that some people forget is shade. And believe it or not, fish do get sunburnt, and when that happens, it's a killer. It can really destroy a fish, not only physically, but smash the pattern to bits as well.
Yeah.
So try and get a bit of shade in over your pond if you can.
What does sunburn actually look like on a fish, though? People out there that never
Pink
experienced.
Chirodi.
Let's
Generally, it's the first bit.
Yeah.
They look burnt.
Yeah, that's the best way. That's the best way. They look burnt, and you'll see it in the Shiroji. Pink go red and rank. So, and they'll salt like fucking all.
Yeah.
just
Then they'll
so
sit it
happens-
in it the next day as well, drinking a cocktail, sat in the sun. Like,
Yeah, but no factor 50s allowed.
There we go. There's a prime example of a fish
There you go,
sunburn.
yeah,
God. Yeah.
And then again one there, which is a little bit wrong. Like,
yeah.
Mm.
And it does affect the albino fish and the Shiroji and all those light coloured stuff.
Yeah.
Like, really, yeah. Oh, guess what you're on?
I just Google images.
Just
So it's-
don't know what's coming up, do you?
yeah, it's
Yeah. Koi in a bikini.
There's got to be a picture of one of them, isn't there? There's got to be.
not in that lot now. I searched for koi with sunburn, not bird with sunburn. There you go. There's a rough idea. There are other things that you can put in as well. There's been other people I've mentioned putting in pond clayers. Pond clayers on particular red hot days because they give coverage in your water and clouds up your water, which prevents the fish from getting the UV rays penetrating down through the water. So obviously you're not going to be able to use it every day, but it'll still give you that little bit of something if you had, let's say a particular really hot day and you can't get something short term till you got some kind of a sail or some shading. Other would be, rig up yourself a little bit of a makeshift tarpaulin. Get a bit of shade cast over it with that, as long as it's still got circulation. Yeah.
One thing to bear in mind is that clay takes a while to come out your water. So what is good is just ease back on the dosage rather than, let's say, if you was to use 100 grams, kick back to 25, dose your water before you go to work. When you come back, you'll pretty much find that it's at the end stage. So you can actually administer it every couple of days doing that.
Yeah, by reducing it into a quarter dosage instead.
Yeah, that's what
so
I
you're
do.
getting enough to opaque your water, takes that sunlight off it, but still not putting one whole treatment in.
And you're not at home to enjoy your pond anyway, so it's a
Just
good thing.
ruin it for the rest of your family.
Fuck them, man. You know what I mean? It's like they should be at work and all.
Yeah. Bunch of slackers.
But yeah, I mean, a bit more extra air as well as if you can. I mean, mine runs flat out 24/7 all the time anyway, so it's getting max all the time. But you've got to remember that warmer water holds less oxygen. So if you can increase your oxygen levels, try to do so. That way you should be a little bit better than running the risk of, leaving it lower. Try not to be using any treatments unless you have to do, because treatments going in again, hot conditions, it's more stress, more. And there you go. Actually, that's a very good suggestion. Blanket answer does the same thing. You can treat with blanket answer because it's a neutral product. It's not going to cause any harm. It's fish safe to all, and it will cloud your water over for a day or two. So
It will kill the blanket weed, which is putting oxygen in. So it will take oxygen out of your system. So yeah, I'd swerve that one a little bit.
that would only be the case if you had blanket weed in first place. If you didn't have blanket weed and it's not taking it out nor putting it in, is it?
Right.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, for the price of blanket answer, you don't want to be dosing that when you can choose clay that's a cheaper alternative.
Yeah,
and
clay's the way
better
cheaper out there.
additive for your water.
There you go. Cut out some sun. And to be fair, we've had a few customers that have had power cuts in the heat, and obviously that's an absolute disaster. So you can get the air pumps with the battery backups. So if you're going to buy a new air pump, the ones with the battery backups, they're not much dearer. And also, if your power goes out, the air pump will run for another 6 or 8 hours. That's pretty good.
I ain't seen them. Who does them, Rick?
Oh, I have to go on the internet now, haven't I?
Because it might be something I can bring into the shop, mate.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Johnny's just
I'll
said
look
there,
into it. I can't remember off the top of my mind.
having a bit of green water protects the fish from sunburn. Yeah, because it prevents the sun rays from getting. It's like Rick said, he has clay in his ponds as well because the fish grub around, and that's a natural blocker.
Yeah, green water is also very good for colouring your fish as well. Believe it or not, you will get. Oh, sorry, Rick. But yeah, but it is. So
yeah, makes a big difference.
Natural spirulina.
Yeah,
kind of, but yeah, it makes brings the penny up no end. So yeah,
there you go.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Blisters like cat pox from sunburn. No, it'll look like what we do. Red burns. Well, it looked like what you just seen. That was fish that were burned.
What about high QE though, or whatever it is? That affects the belly.
QE's different. That's a different. Don't see it so much anymore. That's like the Benny pigment blistering up. It's kind of been bred out of them. It's more of a tumory issue in the thick Benny, and yeah, you don't. It seems to have been with choosing the right broodstock that don't suffer with it. It's kind of less of a problem.
Yeah, sort of disappeared.
Right. Will just ask then. Hang on, green water. So what's the UV for? For us.
For you, yeah, not for the fish.
For us and us alone. It's not for the fish.
All I'd say though is green water is good for bringing the colour up. But obviously, the algae will then block your filters. As you've got to get the balance right. You can't let it go too green, or the pH will go through the roof.
Yeah,
you will have issues. So you've got to balance it. So even running if I want to condition fish, I'll run a UV for maybe 6 hours of 24 on a time clock, just to knock it back, just to balance it. So it's greenish without going crazy. And
and be quite dangerous as well, especially those people that run green water know what they're doing, to be fair. And it's a risk, especially if you're not there to watch it, because you tend to find that those people that run green water will also run quite a lot of air. So if you do get a power cut or your pumps fail and you're not about, you run the risk of your fish turning over.
Yeah.
It's like anything. The green water during the days pumping in oxygen, you'd be super saturated, your oxygen levels through the roof. Come night time, goes in reverse and your oxygen levels will drop off. And if the algae crashes, which it will do at times, especially in the autumn when your light levels drop, you're running a very fine line between happy fish and dead fish. that's kind of farming,
And that's why it's down to the experience, Ricker.
It's dodgy. September's a dodgy month.
Yeah.
But the air pump CP. Hang on. Disappeared now. Yeah. There's Water Garden selling them. CP 3600s. They got the backup power unit. I presume they're coming in from China. But it's just a handy, if you're going to buy an air pump and you're somewhere that does get power cuts, it just might save you one day or one night when the power trips out, or your RCDs, because your power quite often goes on and off. And if you've got RCDs and they don't come back on, or it's just
I'm currently trying to find a company that will send you out text messages on the systems at work if like your power fails.
We got you get that SOS alarms. So on the farm we've got, you just put a SIM card in a box, plug it in the wall, and if your power goes, every number that's programmed in the SIM card gets an immediate text, your power's gone. So we all get notified the farm's got no power.
Do you know who does it, Rick? Well, you don't have to find it now. If you just text it over or something, mate.
I'll have a Mosey see which one we got, but yeah, they are pretty vital.
I mean, we've got backup generators anyway, but it's just like you say, whether the RCD trips out and don't come back on.
Yeah. You just want someone to walk round and check.
Yeah,
especially when you're keeping stock levels like what you're doing.
Yeah,
I think I've got 5,200 fish now. So
Didn't think you'd run on that big.
Yeah.
They're all little, mate.
Will's put there, mine's on permanent. Should I turn it off at night?
It's up to you, man.
If he wants clear water, he wants to leave it on.
There you go, mate. There's your answer. You want clear water and you want to be able to see your fish, and you don't want to run the risk and the gamble of green water and pH crashes and all the rest of it. Leave it as it is, mate. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. DT Coy says, I haven't had my UV on much this year. Dave, I mean, this is because your pond's only just got to 15 degrees. It barely gets any sun ever. I mean, yeah, you've got to run it in the freezer on top of it. It's literally living in the dark. So, I mean, chances of you getting any green water.
And UV then.
Especially when they're out with a flat cap on as well, mate, casting a shade over pond.
Oh, look out.
Oops, it is one of our disciples. All righty then.
Finish twisting that.
Give us a chapter. Can we have page 46, chapter 1? This should be Kahaku 76 versus Kumonru.
Bubble bead filters.
Bubble bead.
Oh, the fucking sent me the new book, haven't they? This has got to be the Bible, this one.
That is the Bible, mate. It is. Look,
What are you Bubble bead
do you
filter.
honestly think I've memorised that book? Oh, here's the right book. Coy, you got two.
You know what? Hey, I'm going to bring this down on Sunday to the BKKS, get everyone to sign it. Oh, we'll have a good Bible.
Hey, where's the flat cap fella?
Oh, he's in.
Nine, at the minute, it's 19-2.
19-2. He's literally just doing 19-2. Pinko's joined us.
But I just thought I'd pop on and just say that, sometimes I do run it, and then this is just for Will, just for his laughter. Ron one, that's Ron one. I'm gonna change camera.
You can't do it either.
Take some fighters in,
Back faces, there we go. Yeah, so that's that done. Don't think you'll see it from over there, but I'll go around.
That's it, Dave. Come on.
One there.
There we are. There's Dave's wife's flower.
And that one there.
Is Pinko's.
Well, yeah, all
Nice
fish
one,
are quite happy as well. Just thought, with Vince being on showing his I nearly ended up with bumming thing in pond then.
Can we do that again?
But yeah, I just thought I'd do another little bit on.
Yeah, same book, Phil. Will. Bubble bead filters.
Thank God for that. I'm going to bring this down.
Wrong button again.
I'm going to get all my signatures on there. Look.
Get them all on that. That's what you want to do. A very good book if anybody's interested. It is real. It is a good read. And another one which I've got. Now I'm going to make everybody go out and get this. This is the Second Testament.
What? When did you get that?
When was that published? 1970?
Does it matter?
You got this?
That's the one you want.
The Koi Doctor.
Oh, Gaz, you're behind times, mate.
You are well behind time, son. That
You want to
is
know
the-
what, has fish treatments and medicines changed over the years then? I ain't got
The
no
cold
idea.
doctor.
This one.
I'll
this
leave
one
you
was
to it. I
very
just
good.
thought I'd pop on, show you temperature, and no, sorry, guys, there ain't no flat cap today. Sorry,
No
mate.
flat cap.
Not
Later,
trying.
Dingo.
Comment.
too crafty, Love Allen. I made him sign it.
2001.
Nah, man. I'm well getting loads of signatures. I want 10% off your shop, Crafty.
You can have 10%, mate. If you come down, spend 100 quid, I'll give you 10%.
I'm just thinking, quid, you mad?
Only good quality at my shop, mate.
Good.
Yeah,
Come on,
Honestly,
I-
Johnny,
buy you a 50 centimetre chag, mate.
Well, the monsters, lad. They'll be up against yours next year.
Johnny, I would say, would UV be best used at night? There's not enough, so not being any UV at that time. It's best to leave them on 24/7, mate.
Yeah.
Believe you be on all the time, yeah.
Mine's honestly, Will, mine has been running continuous. all the
Mine
way
is,
through
yeah.
the winter. I haven't turned it off. Left it going all this year. I just thought, sod it. Let's just try it. Let's see what it's like and leave it on constant. It's been on all year round.
I do the same.
I haven't even switched it off for winter this time. I didn't even bother because it's one's on the inside of the shed and the other one's built into a unit, and they're both protected from elements. So I just thought I'll see what happens rather than switching it off. And
I switched it off for my treatments.
Do you know what, mate? I don't do that either.
I don't.
Me
either.
neither. And you'll find most people don't.
Yeah.
There's no requirement, to be fair.
Let's
It's appalling
see.
to
Everybody out there, do you switch your UV off because it tells you to on back of a packet?
Be
Or do you
honest.
leave your UV on, or have you ever tried it one way or the other? Have you had success or no success with treatments when you've done the other?
It'll only have an impact on stuff like malachite that's impacted by UV rays breaking it down. Most
Well, I ain't
treatments
got that.
aren't. Ain't no different.
I've just bought a bottle, but just so I've got a few different random bits and bats, just in case, you never know. So I bought some, but I've never ever used it. So
Never used it. Didn't you have white spot?
I used what's the blue one called?
Malachite's really the one you used.
What's the blue? Is it malachite? Is it the blue?
You probably use an FMG mixture or whatever. It's malachite.
So I used the Fluke. I used Fluke P first, never done nothing. And then I've done a 5-day course of that, and it's worked.
Yeah,
The Fluke P would have done it, but it takes time.
Yeah,
Not
that's
plugging.
malachite. That's malachite, not malachite. That's what's
But then
the
I
other one
put some of
called?
that biogel in the pod. Foam everywhere.
There's malachite, which is green, isn't it?
It's
Yes,
that
malachite
ties
green
blue.
and malachite blue.
Oh, there is. Right. Oh, so they're both the same. Right. Well, I use the blue one then. Whatever that is.
They're both blue
Anyway.
though. This is a confusing thing.
They're the same thing. Methylene blue's blue.
Yeah, well, that's the one, methylene blue.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
You're confusing you, aren't you?
No, I was just trying
Just get it out there and clear.
Whatever it was, he got rid of them. So it worked.
Perfect.
Right, let's see there. My
Could you
UV's
pay
been
for a
running
wrecking
since...
bill?
Seska's UV's been running since 1476. What the heck? Is that like
On the same bulb.
on the same bulb?
It was gas back then. It's fine.
Methylene blue, Gaz, you're on about. That's the one, John. Mine's been on since January non-stop. Mick turns his off for treatment. DT, I turn mine off if packet says so. No UV on for 24/7 unless treating with meds. So there you go. You turn yours off with meds. Mike F says I turn mine off using treatments. Right. So everybody that using turning them off with treatments is turning them off. I've never turned mine off, and I've always left them on, and it's always worked.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
go figure that.
Mine's all wired in direct, so it's disconnect the UV is a pain in the backside. I have to switch everything off. So
Can't you just pull the thing off the end?
But
I couldn't do that.
But that's not following the packet instructions. You should be cast out of the Koi City walls. Be gone with you, Sir Gavalot. Yeah, you're right.
To the pit of misery.
Yeah, Skeg, I don't turn them off. Can't be arsed, man. Do you know why I don't turn them off? Because the first time I did it, I forgot to turn the damn thing back on. And then my pond went green as shit. And I was thinking, what the hell's going on here? So I went out and got myself a new bulb, put it in. I thought, goddamn bulb works. Oh, you prat. You switched it off.
I'll tell you what, the thing is, though, when you follow the instructions, you turn the UV off and you have one treatment after another. By the time you finish treating, if you're fighting parasite, it's the end of the season and you don't get to see your fish because you're running green water.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I go out and agree with it totally. But it has been bad though. Bad start for. There's a lot of people out there with flukes. A hell of a lot of people out there with flukes. Yeah. Everybody's been hit hard. I hope to God that they bring something out that just kicks the fucking ass as good and proper.
Like a fluke eating fish.
I mean, shit the bed, Rick. That stuff's goddamn expensive. With
that Praxi Watsy thingy, yeah.
All that stuff costs a lot.
The trouble is, it's better than the olden days. That they've got treatments that work.
I don't remember the olden days.
Yeah, so like Masterton Diptrex work like you wouldn't believe, but they're nerve agents, so they can't license them for sale to the general public. But they are the best. There wouldn't be any flukes with those things about. But you can't. They're just not licensed anymore. They're grade 1 nerve agents. So you too much of that and your brain's melted.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me 1 second, Mr. Tropical Guy. I'll give you that one there.
Now that's what I call bullshit statement of the week.
I had to give myself that because that was my bullshit statement of the week when I said I don't remember the olden days.
True. But yeah, Praziquantal's the best we've got, unfortunately. So use it.
That's in that same Fluke P.
Fluke P, Fluke Solve, I think it's Praziquantal with flubenzidol. Flubenzidol's not great. And all the other treatments that say they kill flukes, not great.
I wasn't laughing at you, Rick. This is laughing at
I didn't know what a bloody fluke was to have been on here.
But you don't turn them off because you're a rebel and you like upsetting people. You know me so well, and he meant it. He really meant it because he put it in twice. That's true. I'll go with that. I get shits and giggles out of upsetting people, especially you.
Oh, they're all fucking cockerels, man.
I told you. What's that? They're all cockerels. Let me have a look at them. I'll tell you if they are.
It looks like it.
They're all kicking fuck out of each other,
chest
mate.
bumping.
Have they already got combs growing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they got any sign of small, tiny little wattles coming on the underside of the cheek?
They're not quite that old
The
yet.
underside of the beak. Yeah, they don't need to be, mate. If you blow the feathers back, you'll see them.
That's an old wives' tale, surely.
If you part the feathers, you'll see where they're going to be. You'll see a little mark.
They look up and ready to me.
And I'll tell you another way of noticing, depending on the breed, like those white ones, they'll have yellow legs if they're going to be a male.
Are they
They're Orpingtons.
what the white ones Orps, are they?
Yeah.
We've got Polish and Orps in there. Cooker's beeping, left.
The chicken's ready for them. Get the chickens in.
I feed chicken to the chicken sometimes.
Oh,
Just because it's great.
That's wrong.
Cannibal.
So carnivorous, it's unreal.
Years ago, Crafty, when my kids were toddlers, none of them would eat eggs. So me and my dad took a project on to produce a different coloured egg for each one of the kids, and we did it. We had blue, plum, purple, like a brown, and your standard white, and we got a different colour. And when boys realised that they got like green army eggs, they were it. They were hooked and they liked them from that and then. But there's the saying that you can't produce. You can only get a certain egg, the male carries the gene over and the female doesn't, which is complete crap. We proved the theory wrong, and we crossbred one male to different coloured laying females that laid different eggs, till eventually that we produced one strain of birds that all look the same, but all produce different coloured eggs. It were about a 10-year project that we went into just
to get your kids to eat eggs.
No, because
left out.
Really?
At the time, we wanted to get the kids eating eggs because they wouldn't eat eggs. But once we started getting birds that laid coloured eggs, and then my dad went down, he wanted to know if he could actually prove the theory right or wrong, because we were told by all these people that only certain birds will lay certain coloured eggs and you won't be able to get it from this time over. And my dad carried on with it for about 10 years with it.
Let's put 20p in the meter now.
I'm sat in the darkness, mate.
We just wound it up. Fuck me, it is alive. I thought it was a shadow with teeth.
That's what happened. They are not white, no.
I'm proper.
There you go. Fluke M is Prezi 2. They use it to I knew that was the case. I knew there were one stuff or some stuff that was the same. They use it to sheep dip as well.
Yeah,
I heard that before.
The sheep dip's called Superverm, and it will kill flukes, but it is dangerous stuff.
And it'll kill your fish.
Yeah, you've got to be
Dipping
in a bad place to use it. But yeah, very, very, very
potent.
Yeah.
We've got Size jumped in and joined us as well. Evening, guys. Late to the party tonight. Thanks very much. And a lot of people are asking their mates, so I'm not going to ask it. I'm hoping things are getting better, bud. Let's say that. Jump in. Let us know. Tell us how it's going. Anybody else want to jump in with us? We can have one more guest on. Tonight is going to be much more of just a general chit chat, guys. We have.
We'll be talking about chickens.
Talking about chickens. Why the hell not? It's a koi show and all, but you know, any couple do. Crafty's got a few chicks outside of him. He's having a good evening.
You know, these boyish good looks, mate.
Boyish.
Well, I had a good delivery in the shop today.
What, the magazines?
Yeah, it's great, mate. Yeah, I had managed to get hold off of Ricky a 62 centimetre yellow monkey, and it is a beast.
So you turn it into a zoo as well, then?
Yeah.
Petting zoo.
When you see it, man.
The yellow monkey. Come on, what is the official name for a yellow monkey? What was it before it got?
Ginring Crashigoy.
Yeah, Ginring Crashigoy. But these are that good, mate. Of what Dionysi has done is actually, believe it or not, it blew my mind. They're actually microchipped, and they've got their own serial numbers. That's yeah.
Quite.
Yeah, they started microchipping a few years back.
I'm really glad you said this. It's almost like we prearranged this, but Phil North's question is: given the success of the Red Dragon, the rebranding created a market for Benigoi. If Dionysi announced a parent called White Radish, could it be repeated for Shuramujis?
That ID number there is the microchip.
Is a serial number on its chip?
But what's the point of the microchip? Is that in case someone nicks it?
Well, I guess it'll always mean
I don't really know.
In case it gets lost. Someone brings it back.
It's potentially something to do with the certificate of it, so no one can
Just
knock
proof
them
of origin, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you can get blank certificates from Dionysi, and I can produce from Ginring Crashigoy or whatever, and just sell fish that aren't really what they're
supposed to
be.
Good that the world fucked up microchipping fucking fish.
There's the one.
But
It's for all you guys that have got your massive, great big ponds that have to have everything just as it should be. It's just another gimmick, man, to make you go out
Yeah.
and part with $6.5 grand for a fish. That's just the same as the other fish that they produced 10 years ago. Look, it's the same.
But you know something, guys, when you see it, the quality is oozing. I'm not trying to sell it. Put it next to it.
Yeah, but there's been that quality before, haven't there, in other fish before they put chips in them?
No, but it's Dainichi, mate. It's got. Thanks, Cal.
You get why Dainichi do it. They invest in the best parents, and it's to make a product that is the best, and other people will jump on the bandwagon if they can.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand them doing it so that you could monitor lineage of the fish, so you know which stock it's come from. They'd always have proof for that fish, how well it's done. If they ever, they could say, right, well, that line of breeding that we did back in 2023 produced these fish, and these have gone on to, X, Y, and Z. You can understand it in that sense.
But they'd know that because they keep the best for that purpose. But I don't know if you're red. Well, you got a red tiger in you. What was that? It's your Benigoy.
Yeah, Benigoy. I've got
With
two
his-
red tiger Benigoy.
with his spot on your head. Do you think Dainichi you could get the ID number?
No, there's nothing on there that says that's what it is. There's no chips in them ones.
Yeah.
See, Gaz has got one in his pond, and it's let him down.
Has it really?
Yeah, I've got one tiny little black shimmer, dead centre head, mate. Proper dead centre.
Why
Now,
don't
if
you
it grew,
push it off?
He's good.
it may just disappear one day. But
Just run your fingernail over it, mate. It'll just come off.
yeah, this is.
Right,
this
I'm
is-
out of here, guys. Sorry. Gotta go.
It was only,
Catch you
it was
all
only
soon.
the
Yeah, well,
it was only the fingernail.
Cheers,
So no fish will be harmed, honest. Get him out. There we go. Yeah. Is that what you
if
reckon?
you
Mike?
invest top money in a bloodline or whatever, then and you're going to do certificates to prove it, and you're confident they're going to be the best of that type, then why not? It is marketing, it is gimmicky, but the proof of the pudding, if those fish all rock onto 90 cm and look amazing,
Well, this
Job's
fish
good, isn't
is 62 cm at Nisai.
Yeah.
And the bone structure is absolutely colossal for a fish of that age. It's huge, and it's going to command a price tag. Don't get me wrong, because it should. But what a fish! Well, yeah, that's what I've got, fish and chips. I've got fish and chips. No.
but that's what you pay for, isn't it? At the end of the day, the original Karashigoi line are all Konishi, which is where we got our original parents from. They don't even come into this country anymore because there's a German company that got control of European imports or whatever. And then Okawa and Dainichi and a few other farms are using their fish to produce their Karashigoi, which if you've got to pay big money for the best parents and then you select few who've got the right structure to do it, you've got to command proper money for those fish.
Yeah, you have, because otherwise you're undercutting the value of what we do. To be honest,
We, on the other hand, use the same parents, keep all the offspring, and flog them out little. Some people that know what they're buying get good ones, and some people that don't pay attention to certain things, they won't grow so big. And we don't cull in the same way. We're not using the same level of parent. We don't cull in the same way. Our fish are a tenth of the price.
Mhm.
That's why they're a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
And to be fair, most people ponds ain't capable of growing those fish to what they would grow to. So, like the one you've got, wants to go to a pond where it's going to reach 90, 100 centimeters, proper serious pond.
Exactly. The person that buys it will be asked that question.
Well,
I'm not going to let it go to a pond that it can't command. Because I think
that's kind of part and parcel, isn't it? There's no point buying a fish like that and then sticking it in a 1,000-gallon overstocked pond where it's going to be 62 centimeters fully grown. That's that.
Yeah, stunted. Yeah.
He wants to be given the opportunity to become what his potential really is and of a decent size, so that he can look back and say, well, now look at 2 years later, it's now 89 cm.
Yeah.
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 You know, but you know, the people that fork out that sort of money for that sort of fish, they're going to be on the hunt for that because they want it for their pond, because you know that's what they're going to try and achieve, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, but if you're going to try and achieve that, that's what you've got to look. It's just, it all goes hand in hand, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You're not going
What's the price of it, Crafty?
I'm putting it up for $5,000, so it's actually under market value.
That's your kind of fish, that Mike from Koi Begins. Get it quick, get it in.
You are, Mike. Get yourself a yellow monkey.
If you get in touch with me, mate, we'll have a chat.
There you go.
And see, our entire production of Crashy Goy go for $5,000 for thousands.
I've also got a potential show winning piece as well. Not to make it about what I've bought, but I'll just find the picture. It's
while you're at it.
Well, he's got it there.
Can we not objectify these things? Can we stop calling them pieces? They're living jewels.
Fucking pieces, man. What's up with you? Kage Shiro at Story from Sato. It is an absolute stunning piece.
Does that one come with chips?
No, that one comes with beans, mate. That one.
Just with beans.
Yeah.
You get chicken wing with it as well.
I'll pass that round a few people, and the comments that come back on that is probably the best example of that variety that they've seen. So those people that are looking for one of them, that are into the show scene, get in touch, because it's definitely gonna win a ribbon, without a doubt.
It's a good looking piece. Yeah,
I'd love to have one, but not to go on the show scene with.
Yeah, I agree. But those people on the show scene, that's a fish for them. You know, it's a show fish.
Yeah.
But if the fish is that good, it almost deserves to go to someone that will take it to a show, so other people get to see it.
And
it's ain't going to show no one.
Those people's ponds that use a lot of technique to looking after their koi as well. Right, it's what you got to remember. A lot of like serious koi hobbyists that show they follow strict regimes. You only have to look at what Lee does to actually understand the husbandry that he follows. And you know, for me, everything's got a place. And if you got a fish that should be put out there for people to wow over, then it should go to them sort of people. You know, it's like going to a palace rather than a pond in the garden, like what we were saying before, an overstocked pond. It needs to go to the right place. That's going for £3,000. So again, Mike, if you're up for it.
Who here would buy a 100? I'm guessing that's £100 or 100. What do you mean? 100 plus Ginrin Karashigoi Tosai, and have the chance of growing 80 cm plus. And would you buy one like Crafty's got? I won't never buy a £5 fish, mate. No.
No.
Never.
Neither would I.
That, to be fair, what he says, you could buy 100.
Yeah, and never have the same one. Yeah.
But the thing is, you could go and look at 100 and pick the one that could do it. So you actually need to buy one. If you understand the bone structure and the bloodline, then
it's a numbers game, though, Rick, isn't it? You know, but you know, you've got a one be in that place to find that one. It's got to be in the right shop that's got that fish. You know, it's hard. It's hard to be able to. We had a chat on Koi Talk Live yesterday about chasing that Tozai dream. But
the problem is you got to see that's generally you'll go to a shop, you'll see what's available and you can pick the best of what's there.
Yes,
but that ain't the best of what's at the farm or the best of what's come from.
And it's potentially not even the best one at the shop, because you know you keep certain things behind the scenes, don't you?
Yeah, but so you can only ever pick the best of what's in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike's saying that there, buying 100. I mean, there's more to say that you and 10 of your mates couldn't buy 100 collectively and take 10 apiece away and see what you get out of them as a development. It makes it easier than one person having 100 fry or 100 suicide to grow. It's a hell of a lot of room and a lot of fish in a decent sized pond if you want it to grow 100 fish in it. But collectively, through a few friends, you could definitely do it that way. It would work when you're only growing on 10.
You could,
Not my fault. The temperatures are up, and that's when they eat.
You could easily buy 100 toe size from the right parent stock, and they'd all do that kind of size in the right place.
Yeah,
you've got to have a 2 acre lake to grow 100 fish to eat, so you need some serious.
Or you've got to have a farm like Rick's that's like manned 24/7.
yeah.
We don't grow anything that big. Basically, it's not worth it. We don't get the value. Big fish, they get to a point where they're worth X amount, and another year's growing. Most people
and these temperatures in the right conditions, they'll eat up 2% of their body weight a day.
Vince is getting told off. Stop feeding.
I'm getting told off because I keep feeding the fucking fish, but they don't understand. At these temperatures, they want that food.
Don't feed me that.
They need that food.
Mate, they're throwing us bacon chips in and what they want.
Just remind her, Vince, that not only is she telling you off, she's telling half of YouTube too, because everybody can hear it.
Here he is.
Good evening. Now then, lad, how's it going? I see they got the flat cap on.
Looks like it's been painted down the seafront, doesn't it?
I can't believe he's come on with that. Big job.
Especially for Pinko.
Oh.
How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, mate, you.
You, Aaron?
Hey, guys.
How we doing, Aaron?
All right, mate, you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Oh my God. Black cap. Hasn't that got the shaggy hat on, mate?
I just told our lass what it meant 10 minutes ago, and she said, "You're never going in the loft to look for that flat cap just to put it on for DT."
So, we're having a little conversation, and Dave sent himself a little picture into the group chat with him in a flat cap saying, "I tried this on in shop, but I don't think I suited it, so I never got it." And we've been ribbing him all day. So Aaron, being the sportsman that he is, has dug out his flat cap.
He didn't dig it out. He was he's had it the whole time.
Yeah,
You just put the onions around your neck. You look very French.
He's a knuckle dragging northerner. What do you expect?
To be fair, Vince, me and you don't look great as Southerners, do we?
You two look like you've had our paper round, guys.
You speak for yourself, sunshine.
A knuckle dragging northerner. You've got one.
At least I'm not great yet, you know.
And Rick looks like he's coming straight out of a blow dry.
Like he's just
I do need a
stepped out of the
haircut.
salon.
Apparently, I look like the guy in the Munsters. What's the uncle with the white hair?
Uncle Fester.
No,
He's the bald one, isn't he?
What's that other dude caught from that film with? God damn it!
Oh, you mean Cousin It, the one with all the hair?
No. It's
Munsters.
Beetlejuice.
Oh no, who's got white hair in the monsters?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. That was a film, not a series.
Yeah, but the dude in that, you've got to know what I mean now. Surely you got.
You mean Herman?
Getting a bit wild and a bit windswept. It's like he's been running out. When he got home, on his way home, he had out the window to cool down.
I let the dogs drive. I put my head out the window.
So, but after the dogs have dropped their guts and he's driving down the road like this.
Have you seen this, ladies and gents? Aaron's in his own bar. Look at that.
Yeah, it's got a bar.
Yeah, it's a proper bar. It looks like a proper pub.
You snobby bastard.
Get the rounds in then, quick.
The knuckle dragging northerner.
The thing is, mate, where they buy houses up there, mate, they already cost 20 quid.
The guy at the top.
Yeah, the guy at the top.
Oh,
yeah, you do.
yes, the vampire one.
Grandad, isn't it?
See, I mean, hang about.
Watch this dog, look. Watch him, look.
You got a raccoon in the dishwasher.
Oi, get up. Bouncing the plates around, Carl. Anyone think he was fat?
Aaron, you got any koi related things you want to talk about? Because this has gone way off topic.
Yeah. So pull it back onto koi.
I can show you some of that I'm working on if you want.
I don't know.
Koi related.
All right.
I don't know if I
Look
can.
like he
So
had
I tell
his
you,
trousers on then.
with that top on and that flat hat, he reminds me of that police officer from Hello Hello.
Oh.
I was just pitching past the window.
That's it.
Looks a bit like Frank Spencer, doesn't he?
I
It's
can't
I,
don't even know how to spin
Nick
my camera
Clare.
around.
Yeah.
What we're showing us then, Aaron. Let's go.
I'm trying to work out how to spin my camera around.
Settings, camera, front and back.
This is the third time tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting pond cam times 3.
I'm pushing the buttons, but it's not working. Ah, there he is.
Right. The koi widow's water in the grass there, look on YouTube.
Live. Please do not
Trying
swear.
to keep, mate.
So I've made myself a little protein skimmer. And it is doing the job.
You're
we
right,
go in
you can
there?
see it.
Why can't we go in?
Where's it dripping to, though?
Into a bucket.
Oh, there you go.
No, don't know what to say.
You don't
Well,
have to say
Paris-
anything. I'm not asking for your approval. I'm just saying what I'm working on.
It's working. It's doing job there, isn't it? Periscope up.
Are you going to show us how you made it?
I have made. I'll show you how I make it when I'm happy with it.
All right. Okay.
When I'm happy with that, the measurements, I'm going to weld one up out of stainless.
All right.
Sell it to EA, mate.
Sell it to EA. What as a Nexus add-on?
As a Nexus add-on. Thank you very much. I shall take my.
So I take it that is only Nexus orientated then.
No, it works with Easy Pods as well.
Ooh.
It's got a right. Oh, you got shorts on.
Me? Yeah.
He's got no trousers on.
That's
Are
what
you-
What is
right,
little
if
dunkles
we're
swinging
doing, if we're doing the Dragon's Den, can you tell me how much your net cost was?
Prototype. Yeah, about 6
And how
quid
much
so
would you
far.
like me to invest? Sorry, I'm out.
6 pints would be a nice investment.
6 pints. Oh, yeah, I think-
Oh, you're a
I'll come
cheap
to your-
night out.
I'll come to your bar and pull you 6. There you go. Sweet. I'll just take my protein skimmer on the way out.
Nice. It's about 18
It's
quid up
working,
north,
though,
isn't it?
Excuse me. It's working though, isn't it?
It's doing the job, yeah. I had to turn it off last night because it was bringing too much water across. So I made a bit of a bigger pipe tonight, and it seems to be.
Oh, Periscope. Good job though, mate.
I forget.
Hey, up, where we going?
He's off to the
Hey,
bar.
I hope you've got a license for them shorts.
Does anybody want a drink while he's at the bar? We got a
I got
question.
glass.
Yeah, me too. A little barman.
Question is, guys, how often are you cleaning your filters now that feeding is up and temperature is up? Once a week.
Every
Yeah.
2 or 3 days at the moment.
Mine's weekly.
What are you running now, Vince?
I'm running 2 easy pods.
I'm every 2 to 3 days at the minute on a Nexus 320.
It's a lot of
What
cleaning.
about
isn't
you,
it?
Aaron? How often are you cleaning yours, Aaron, on your Nexus?
Once a week.
Once a week.
You want to chuck some food in, boy.
I will do when I stop. I'm slowly increasing, but I keep hitting nitrite and then flattening out and then increasing and then flattening out.
He's
What's
doing
your
it
night
nicely.
going up to, Aaron?
You best ask someone else because I'm
you know what the number is?
No.
You can't see what the colour is.
That's
No,
why I
you
was
can't
asking
see what
about the
the colour
Columbo kit, because other people test my nitrate for me.
Yeah, I know. We had a conversation. I didn't know whether you knew what the reading was, mate. That's all.
No, not yet. Maybe someone can tell me the reading next time, and then I can tell you what the reading is.
That's probably what we should do, mate, rather than going, yeah, it's got a bit of pink in there.
It's
Yeah,
like-
we should really tell you what the number is.
You're not giving him like 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. You
No, they're just saying
I will
it's less
take that
pink than
into
last
consideration tomorrow, Alvin.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Never even thought of that, you know. Every time that you've asked us to do a test for you, we've not given you the figure, we've just told you it's pink. Yeah, perhaps, guys, when we're doing this test for it, we should be a little more.
It's
thorough.
pink, and he's looking down the graph. He's like, which one's fucking pink?
I honestly, on that NT Labs one, I can't. I've
For
never
you,
seen
mate,
colour
it's
in
a
it.
lot of shit in it. It's pointless, in it? Completely.
That's why I was looking for one that maybe I could, even if I could see it and roughly identify it by holding it next to something, but I can't even see it at all. There's no point in me doing it.
But obviously, you can see different shades and hues, though.
I'm telling you now, Vince. I've had it where they've gone. You need to do a water change. It's pink, and it just looks clear to me, like crystal clear.
There you go. It's not easy.
So what colour is my shirt?
Brown.
Is it brown?
No, I'm joking. I know what colour your shirt is.
It's pink, you can't.
This one's white. Mate. I'm wearing my white one tonight.
We can all club together by a digital one. They did digital nitrite tests.
Yeah, Hannah checkers, mate.
Yeah, but those kind of checkers are just too fucking accurate, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but you have to like take a step back from that, don't you? You don't want to work like you don't have to chase the numbers. You can round them up and work out where you are on a scale. You know.
Fucking
I'll be
around,
happy with
around
one
the
though.
fucking
That's why I was
living
looking at the like from the other ones that go from blue because I can see blue. So
the ammonia test on the Columbo kit is yellow to red. The nitrite, I believe, is green to blue.
blue being bad.
Appreciate
Yes.
Right.
You
See,
need
I
a
might be.
Columbo kit.
I can see blue. So if I see blue and I know that I've done it, then I know I've done it wrong, don't I? Or no, not done it wrong. I know I'm up
You've
shit
got a
street.
high reading. Yeah.
But at the moment, I can't see if it's pink, so I don't know if I'm in shit street until somebody else FaceTime thing goes, do a water change.
The only thing wrong with the Columbo test kit is that you've got loads of tests that you don't really need, and it's like 55 quid a set, and you only really use 3 of them out of the whole set. That's the only bad thing.
You can buy them individually, though, don't you?
Yeah, you can buy
Yeah,
individual
we got them
copies, yeah.
individually.
Ammonia is yellow to green. Nitrite is white to red through pink.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Same with the nitrate.
I'm thinking of P8. That's what I'm thinking of.
Phosphate is blues.
I mean, do you test phosphate?
The pH is yellow through green to purple.
Well,
Oh, well.
I'll continue using FaceTime then.
But I am going to do a video tomorrow, so I'll put I'll actually put the numbers up with the colours as well for you.
The test cards in them are excellent in comparison to the NT Labs one. That's just on the back. So hard to read.
I wouldn't know. I've never used the NT Labs one.
Yeah, they're shocking, mate, to try and get an accurate read.
See, when you think of it, though, if you want to go out there and buy all 6 tests in Hannah's,
Yeah.
that's 300 and odd quid.
That's a few hundred quid.
Yeah. I did
Like
have
55 quid a
I did
piece
have
out
money
there.
put aside to get a nitrate one this month, but
330 quid.
my plump bull last weekend, so that's gone straight out the window.
Can you not get like a coloured, like a see-through colour paper stuff that you could put over to change so you'd be able to see the difference? I don't know what I'm going. You get different coloured.
Go on. Sorry, Rick.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Rick. I've tried it, and it's really hard because it changes every perspective that you see it at. So
You just need a friend that tell you the right reading, wouldn't you?
Yeah, rather than know what the colour is.
We
What's
can have
that?
some fun with that, guys.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, next time you do it, mate, I'll just tell you what number it's up, and then we'll do it that way.
See you later, boy.
That work?
But yeah, a lot of people are saying you need to use the hammer test meters, but like I said, it's 330 quid to get all 6.
I don't need all 6, though, really.
no, I don't need ammonia. I can see that the ammonia is
You're all
fine.
right with that one. Right, so you
Yeah,
only
I'm all right
need it
with ammonia.
you only need it for the ranges that you can't see then. So that's the same. Peter says, didn't Lee say that he's going back to testing as he doesn't trust the handers? He did, mate. He truly did.
True,
He
yeah.
said, he said they're way expensive and way too complicated and not something that he's going to stick with using. I watched it in his video.
Well, yeah,
today as
because
well.
with them things, it's not a case of put your reagents in, leave it do its thing. You've then got to add, take this number, and then do a calculation, and then you get your answer. And you would have thought for the price that they charge, it'd be a case of you put your water in, you put your agents in, you put it in for the amount of time, and what it tells you is your reading. You shouldn't have to then do a mathematical calculation afterwards.
Yeah.
And you see,
so-
I mean, for the price that you pay for them.
Do you remember when James the Coil Whisperer tried to explain it? That was one of the most complicated fucking going around about videos I think I've ever watched. It was more more confused at the end of that, and I think you were originally when you first got it. Like, so I'm going to do this, going to do that, going to do this, going to do that to get this. When I
Yeah,
can
but
just
you also
do
got the calculation wrong, though.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know one then.
It's really not that hard, mate. You get a number and you divide it by 0.352.
There you go. Not that complicated. But it'd be nice if it just did the test and went, it's 7.1. And just
Why can't they make the reading
say what it is?
0.352 less than what it says?
They'll probably put another 100 quid on to do it, Rick. You know what they're like.
Or have an app that you put your number in and it spits it out. You know,
There's a lot of what ifs and maybes, but you know, it work. They work. They're super accurate. That's their downfall.
Yeah.
But it all depends what you want out of the hobby, innit? If some people like to try and hit zeros on absolutely everything every single time, it's like mine.
And it's absolutely pointless because you're never going to do it.
You're not, but you know, if you're reading like a 0.5 on ammonia or whatever, it's like, you know, oh, the ammonia is fine at 0.5. It's like that accurate. You just take it for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, you also have to buy loads more reagent as well, so it turns into a bit of money getting game. So
Yeah, because the reagents are quite pricey as well, aren't they?
and they're hard to get hold of as well. That, you know, that's the other thing. So especially when you're looking at the chloramine, which is probably the only anometer test that's worth having. It's hard to get hold of the reagents so you can use it.
Yeah.
do you know it's like the Sensei kits that stick in your pond? They tell you
Oh,
ammonia
God,
level. Do any of them tell you nitrate?
Yeah.
Because-
The Colombo ones do. They've got a 1 second dip, 60-second wait, and then do a colour match. I mean, they're not too bad. They give you a thereabout sort of reading if you're looking for. I mean, I use them for customers doing water tests if they bring in their water. You know, I'll do a quick dip, and then if anything looked a little bit out, then I'll do a drop test on them. But you know, they do chlorine, general hardiness. The only one they don't do.
I was on about this. There's one.
Yeah, he's
where
on about the electric sensor ones.
Yeah, there's one that plugs in and it's got like a Wi-Fi sensor on it, but it's very expensive. Now, I was looking at the cost. Yeah, I was looking at the cost of that versus like 5 hammers, but I didn't know whether the
It's
sensor
the same
one.
thing again, though, mate. You've still got to have reagents. You've still got to calibrate it every month or so, and they've been producing them Sinais for years now.
One, though, do you? You just put a new lens in it.
But it's still a reagent, though, isn't it?
Down into the water and then it sits there and it gives you your pH read. Is that? I don't know if I.
It's like an electrical box, and it's got a wire with a piece of like a lens in it, and it measures a few different slides.
Yeah, but you're right on those kits. You not only have to pay for new slides. I've heard a lot of reports that they give quite false readings.
Yeah,
but you also then have to have a subscription as well to get the information off of them.
Oh, I ain't doing that. No way.
They've been around for about 10 years, the Sinai, and they just doesn't seem to have improved because, like I say, when it first came out, there was a lot of people weren't happy with it because, like Crafty said, they were inaccurate, plus the slides were hard to get hold of. They were expensive to get hold of at the time. And when you look at the actual Sinai unit itself, that it's expensive. You look.
I think it's about 230 quid to start off, and that's without any subs or anything, any subscription status.
230 quid, you could just double your filtration.
Oh,
Then you're done.
But then it's 20 quid every month on top of that, just for a slide, and then a subscription status on top of that. So you're looking at spending, another couple of grand a year just to keep it running.
And the best one for you, Aaron, is you've got free calls on your mobile, so just WhatsApp us. Job done.
Yeah, it's probably rather than spending money on that, I might as well just buy more K1.
Yeah.
Yep. So I bet you could fit a lot more K1 in your Nexus.
Yeah, I bet I could.
200 quid's worth at least.
Yeah.
I sell it down at the top, Aaron, if you're interested.
Take a drive. He's coming. What team are you on, Aaron? Did you say?
Just Team Yorkshire.
Just Team Yorkshire.
Oh, he's been BKP, isn't he?
He's been a fence.
North-south divide, isn't it?
Jamie from Life from the Koi Pond says, question, do you think future pond filters will have a built-in water parameter readers?
Yes, and they'll be crap.
Yep.
And they'll be very overpriced.
Yeah. Yeah. You can even the RZ drum filters, you get your ECG unit or whatever that tells your phone how many times it's cleaned, when it needs to clean, if it needs to go to the toilet, why it needs to go to the toilet.
Well, I'm gonna say something that I saw on somebody's. Well, it was on Lee Hadfield's. I mean, you're talking about all these mega brilliant filters and everything. God damn, man. That drum of his, when he put it through a cycle rinse and he went, I'm just going to give it one cycle rinse, which turned into 6 cycle rinses, and there was still shit coming out of that filter. I know he's feeding 500 grams, so he obviously is going to be getting a lot of shit to clean out of his filter.
Yeah, that's because he had a blocked jet spray, though. Gas.
Yeah, but they do, that's what I mean. Even the best of filters still have the tinkering problems, and you still have to maintain them and keep up to them. Yeah? They're not just plug and play, are they? Every filter system has got its, I won't say flaws, but things that you need to keep up to. And if you don't, for that short period of time, end up where you've got like a blockage like that and then build up a shit. You just miss that and just don't pay attention for that little bit. And then you end up with having to strip it down, clean it out, put them back in. Then you're getting a build-up of shit settling on your screen, which you have to clean off again. They're all, everything's got its pros and cons.
I was really surprised how much came out of that.
I was as well, but I was pretty damn surprised how much shit came out of
that. The drums are amazing at taking it out, but if you're not on the case, and they are quite maintenance heavy when they shouldn't be, and that's the thing. They're sold as maintenance free, but when a cleaning pump goes wrong, or the hose goes wrong, or the nozzles block, or the outflow blocks, or the gravity feed, you haven't topped your pond up enough. There's so many little scenarios with them that kick them off. That we've tried running them on the farm and we sacked them all up.
The flow rate's proper as well, Rick. As soon as that flow rate drops,
we sacked all of them off. We had 8 running at one point, and I was doing literally just running around, sorting them. I was just go old school. Yeah. For what we need, you need it to run 24/7 and not decide to shut itself down or pump water out because the flow's not moving, or blow a pipe and squirt water everywhere. You just need, if you've got one pond, they're amazing. and you can just keep on top of them. But they are, as good as they are a real pain.
But even down to the 60 micron screen, soon as they start to get like blocked up, like through water or the biofilm, etc., I go into absolute stupid cleaning cycles, and that in itself, it caused me some problems down at the shop where every morning I was going back into work and there's 2 foot of water missing out me indoor pond light, and it's like error 33, I think it is on the drum.
It over cleans.
It just keeps going,
and it pumps more and more water out.
Yeah.
The other thing people don't realise is these pumps that are actually running these spray bars, they are a high pressure, high wattage pump. So every time that goes off, you're using the equivalent in that 30-second spray of like 3 times as what you would normally have done if you was using, say, an Easy Pod.
Yeah,
and that's every 20 minutes or however long.
You bang on, Vince. The normal cycle is every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you then look at how much water consumption that is as well, it's a huge amount. And a certain brand also sells like screens to 120 micron, but my God, they're like £400 a set.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's just mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. If you want to keep your price down, don't, in my opinion, don't use a drum. A Nexus, for me, is the go-to filter for any koi pond.
Yeah.
Or if you can't afford a Nexus, an Easy Pod and a bio chamber.
Yeah. I run both, Vince. I've got a homemade bio filter and an Easy, mate, and I run I think 45, 50 Nexus easy pods down the shop, and they're banging, and they're heavily stocked ponds, and they do well,
Yeah.
What's your cleaning regime for your outer of your Nexus, Crafty?
Say that again, mate. You're a bit quiet.
The cleaning regime for the moving bed part of your Nexus.
You shouldn't need to.
Never touch it, mate. All I simply do is add a bit of EA filter gel on every clean, and that, rightly or wrongly, you don't need to, but it's just a habit I've got into. Especially, a lot of people don't think of when they're doing a treatment and they're knocking their filters back. A lot of people don't think that of replacing that bacteria you've potentially lost. So I just, from force of habit, I just add that EA filter gel into the outer ring every time, but there's absolutely zero requirement to clean that, mate, because it self-cleans.
Right. I've got a question, and I asked this for Vince the other day, and Gary's just prompted it by saying this. Easy Pods are so underrated for what they actually do and handle.
100%.
How many out there with an Easy Pod? I've got an Easy Pod that your media rises up out of water.
Yeah.
So my question is to you, if it's so good and they're so underrated, if I take my media out of my pond and take it out of water, everybody's going to say, well, your bacteria is dead. Because it doesn't survive unless it's circulating, turning over and moving in water, yeah? Do we agree?
Yeah, but it's not all of it's the top of your media, Gaz, is the only thing.
Yeah. But this is what I mean. An Easy Pod can raise up 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and you only do two cleans per week. That section of your media has been out of water for over 28, 48 hours. It's dead.
Yeah. Hence the reason you add EA filter start gel after every clean, mate.
Surely it shouldn't do that, though.
Well, it does it as a... Sorry, auto feed is going off.
Well, it's kind of... but Vincent, it's kind of an indication as it needs to be clean.
Totally, mate. That and it's the same when you're looking at your 220s and your 320s. So you're in a chamber, will rise, and your outer chamber will come down as well. So once you start seeing that motion happen, then basically it's your sort of indication to get the air blowing on the inner chamber rather than the outer, and then get it.
So
dumped.
technically, if that's the case, then to prevent your media from dying, you should be cleaning them daily.
No, because
No, not necessarily.
it doesn't go that high, mate. If you stay on time.
Would you agree to push it down? I mean,
No.
it wants to be submerged, doesn't it? I mean,
No, the best thing to do is clean it.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it takes 3 days to rise up, and each day it's going up that little bit more, by 3 days you're up out of water by 2 inch. That's 2 inches of your media dead. That's a third of your media dead.
I mean, I don't ever get it up 2 inches, mate. If I'm honest, you know,
It wouldn't be bone dry either coming up in that environment, so it wouldn't be dead.
Well, I mean, I know somebody that's got one, and he's got two of them side by side each other. And after 2 to 3 days, he's raised it up 2 inch, and it's bone dry, rock solid, to a point where you have to push it down and break it up to get it apart.
Too much media in the inner chamber.
It's less than the recommended amount that it says to have in there already.
No way.
I'll get him to record it for you. I mean, he's here. He's sat in here right now. He can tell us.
Really, Vince?
I mean, my easy pod that's on the toe side tank and on the growing on tank, they will only get cleaned once a week. My main pond gets cleaned 2-3 times a week, purely because of the amount I know I feed.
Yeah.
As we all know, we've watched you. We've watched you.
Yeah, and you just had a bollocking as well for it.
Yeah. So that is the only reason I personally clean mine 2-3 times a week, because I know. And I mean, I did, what's today? Thursday. I did the bottom drain easy pod on Tuesday. In fact, I'll do a little video tomorrow when I put it on a clean, and you'll see how much shit it actually collects in that 2 or 3 days.
I'm not denying they don't pull shit out. What I'm stating is that if they raise up out of the water and it's not in water for any period of time while it dries out, the media is dead. There is no beneficial bacteria on that media. It's dead.
Yeah, but like Ricky said, in that easy pod type of environment, you've got the lid over the top. So the media itself doesn't fully dry out. There's still that moisture in there. Can you see what I mean?
I don't use these, so I'm only playing devil's advocate.
I don't use them, but this is what I've seen when I've gone to Mike's. Every single time I've been to Mike's house, his media is risen out of it by 1.5 inches, 2 inches every time, and you've really got to break it up to push it down. Daz has seen it himself. We've seen it where his media has been mature, and it's been, a nice dark brown colour. Not brown, but a nice mature colour.
Yeah.
But it's still rising up out of the water, and yet the inside of you're saying it keeps a bit of moisture in there by having the lid on. You take the lid off, it's bone dry on the side of it.
But the bacteria regrowth, Gaz, is quick.
It's not. It takes 9 months on average to get media to start establishment.
Yeah, but that's new media.
Yeah,
that dry media that's there will colonise.
Will recolonise quickly, and it will. Because this is not a question for me, and this is me not saying that there's anything wrong with him. This is a question that we're trying to find out for Mike, because he's worried that his media is not going to mature, or it's not doing what it should be, or his bacteria is going to be dying up, and he's concerned at that fact because of the problem that he's been having with his fish that have all had the bacteria issue, and he didn't want anything to happen again. He wants to make sure that this time everything's cock on. He said, if you can find out, or you have any idea, or we can ask and see what people think and why it does it, or if there's a reason behind it. But would you both advise in adding?
I'll tell you what I'll do, Gaz. When Freddie from EA comes in, I'll run this question past him, and then I'll see what he comes back with as an answer, mate.
Because he's just worried that he's got something not just right, or something's just not running right, or more to the point.
But if the media is not the right amount of media and it's too low, something's not right. You need to run the set amount of media that it's supplied with, which I think is 8 litres off the top of my head. I might be wrong on that.
Oh, I think I've got more
That
than
bit
that.
that floats up is such a small amount of media compared to what's in the whole system. It's nothing.
Tiny amount.
And that will recolonize. It doesn't matter. That's not. Yeah, that's not an issue. To be fair, if you're running 100 liters in the whole system and you've got 2 liters that pop up out of the water every few days.
But see, the only reason, another reason. Sorry, Mike, but I said I'd try to see if we can get to the bottom of it for you. The reason why he's asking is because last year he had the mini pond or his quarantine pond running, and the main pond running. The main pond, lovely, matured-looking media. He put new media in micro K1, was it, Mike? I think he put micro K1 in both. And one of them nice and mature, the other one bleach white, 12-month-old. Never ever got any colour to it at all whatsoever, but always keeps rising up. And it was PP'd beforehand to etch it in and all the rest of it. It did all the things that but running exactly the same setup, side by side on 2 systems, but getting 2 totally different results from 2 easy pods. If we can get anything to help Mike to stop him feeling like he's not doing something right and he's not going to have problems coming through, is the reason for the question.
Yeah.
As to has anybody else experienced it.
I'll run it past Freddie at EA, mate, and I'll get an answer back for you.
Personally, as someone who's been running easy pods for goes how many years now, I personally wouldn't worry, Mike. That is just part and parcel of having, running, and using an easy pod, bro.
Yeah, and I would agree with that statement, Vince.
And what would you say advisably then, Vince? The right amount to clean each week for him to make sure that
it depends on your feeding regime.
He's only got those little fish that you took over, hasn't he? Or the smaller fish that you took over.
Yeah. Now he's just got the tiddlers in there. There's 13 fish total.
So if they're only small and he's only feeding lightly at the moment, once a week should be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Once they start to get bigger and the feeding starts increasing, then by which time he'll know how his pod acts with his pond. And then he will then start instinctively knowing as soon as he looks at it, right, time to clean.
Right, so he doesn't need to be worrying about it being dead because it will recolonize really quickly. That's a bonus, because that's what we were both like. Shit, that means like the top quarter of it's bone dry, dead.
No.
And is it that the reason why every time
should happen?
It mixes it all back up again, some more comes to top that, and we were thinking this is why it's not cycling, it's why it's not getting right.
What should be happening, guys, when you turn it onto the clean cycle by running the AirPod into it, it should naturally be tumbling through anyway and turning over.
This is the thing, it doesn't, and I don't know. It could be. I mean, he's very close to seaside, very close. I'm just wondering if it's.
How long has he been running his pod?
On this one with the new media that he's got now, he's had it running for 12 months, and now then he shut everything down and he's bleached everything out. And everything is lost, and he started afresh. Now it's been running for about 10 weeks.
Okay, so still early on in the cycle. Yeah. So that'll be part of the issue straight away, because if he's bleached through it, mate, he's knocked every single good bit of bacteria off that media, and it's literally new pond syndrome. He's just got to ride the wave out, and it will mature. It takes a while.
One question: what size air pump has he got blowing up for the cleaning cycle?
Mike, what size is your air pump, bud? Have you any idea?
It's got to be a 70 or 75.
I was just going to say, I think it's a 70 or a 75. I'm sure it is. It might even be bigger. Running the 2.
Now, what leads me on to the next question: how was it a second-hand Easy Pod? And when was the last time he checked the air ring?
Good point, Vince, actually.
Because sometimes the holes on the air rings clog up. And I know it's a ball ache stripping the media out of the Easy Pod, but sometimes it it's good once a year to take that ring out and go round with a pin and make sure all your holes haven't calcified up with lime scale and stuff that comes out of your water. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah. He's got 2 of them, 70 litres running.
That's plenty.
All brand new.
All brand new. And he's had them now
ride the wave, man. Ride the wave out. Don't be over concerned about it. You've got to let your media mature. Simple as that.
So you've got to let the easy pod mature. You know,
this is what I was saying, same as.
It drives me nuts when I watch videos and people are literally, they've done a cleaning cycle on their easy pod and then they're in there scrubbing holy shit out of the walls of the pod itself. Now,
this is why I thought this was a good question, Vince, because
now,
I wanted
the thing is,
you bringing this up.
I will dump my easy pod, I'll rinse it round with a hose, and that means I go round the walls, and just in doing that will knock off any shit that's there that shouldn't be there, you know. And once you've done that, you'll have a film all the way around the inside of that outer ring of your easy pod. That's biofilm. That's bloody good for your filter. You know, you don't want to be scrubbing the sides of your easy pods to make them absolutely spotlessly clean. And I think that's half the problem as well. And the other problem I see is people not filling up their easy pods enough when they're putting them on a cleaning cycle.
Yeah, needs to come right to the top so the water actually channels out the runways that are actually situated in the top. That's what it's there.
The bit that you were saying there, Vince, touch base on it, as apparently, and this was something that Skeggy brought up in your chat, mate, which I listened to and I thought were really quite interesting, which is why I thought we'd bring it up tonight and talk about it. They're actually, they're a coarse grade on the inside of the Easy Pod out there. They're not a smooth finish, and that is literally designed for biofilm to take place in there. So that's what Vince is on about by not scrubbing them out, Mike. So you need to give them a quick rinse out to make sure you get the bullshit waste off, but leave that biofilm in there because removing that is removing part of
bacteria.
The good bacteria that's in there as a natural biofilm too.
You know, where the airline elbow is that takes you into the ring at the bottom is a real crappy area that congregates a lot of fish waste. So
there you go.
On blowing that bit off.
Mr. Tropical Coys, but this was happening before the bleaching for 2 years. It stayed the same. So I can't take 2 years. It can't take 2 years to mature.
No, it shouldn't be. But no, I don't get it myself. If it was me, I'd be ensuring that media across the top. I'd even check how much media you've got inside your pod as well, because it seems to me that if it's rising up that much and never maturing, it's got to be too much media in there. It's got to be.
That's
Are we
how
missing
it
the point
seems to me.
here, though? What was his water parameters? If he didn't have any, if his water was all right, then it's
working.
Kind of a mute subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Mike, what's your water parameters like?
I bet they're bang on.
Have you got any test kits dried out in your conservatory?
I bet you they're bang on as well.
At the end of the day,
each time I've been there and we've done a test, they have been cock on, apart from the KH, but he has low KH out of tap, so when he water changes, he's reducing his KH. But so Mike.
So what are you worrying about then?
Nothing to worry about then.
That's easier to say that, you know, when you're there trying to help someone and you're thinking, hang about from what I know, and then you've got somebody that's as Mike is wanting to make sure that you don't have any of this shit before. You start overthinking things a little bit, perhaps maybe, and then you get to a point where you think, hang about, is it right? So many heads are better than one, and this is why I keep saying it, and it's why I've pushed it, why Vince is pushing it, why all the rest of us are. The more we can sit and talk about stuff like this, the more we can get points across about what we think and put questions to each other, the more the simple solution comes back with, if his water parameters are okay, what are you worrying about?
Yeah, 100%.
So there's your answer, Mike. If your water parameters are good, mate, then we don't need to worry. It's doing what it should be doing, and obviously it's just not changing in colour.
Yeah, that could have something to do, like it says, KH. If he's got low KH, you'll see the calcium builds up on everything, which creates a biofilm. So if he's got very, very low KH, he's not going to get the same build up as we would at work that just coats everything.
Yeah.
Before you start.
There you go. There you go, Mike. That's it. It's KH. God damn it.
Good.
Good.
Next question.
Right, there you go. Next question.
What is low KH though, guys? How low is low?
It's like 1 or 2, sometimes 3 out of tap.
Yeah, that's very low. Yeah.
But to be fair, we were both at 7 18 months ago. Now mine's at 3, and he's there. He's just putting, I hate KH. So every time we test his KH, there's none in, it's gone.
You need to filter it up, man.
He's got. Oh, he has, man. He is adding. He's adding and bringing it back up each time, each week. But it's like one of those things. We have we're on a Saturday. We both sit there. and We go right. Let's do a KH test, and we go 1 drop, and it doesn't change colour. And you think, shit, how's that gone again? And it's every week. In a week, we're both having had it.
But what about oyster shell? There's a slow release.
Yeah, a slow releasing. That might be the way to go. Go with a slow releasing oyster shells in there to make sure that it's straight and there constantly all the time, preventing it from dropping off at all.
Let's hang it down your centre chamber, but don't clog it up.
Hang it in a bag inside there.
Yeah, but don't clog it up because it'll restrict your flow rates. That's
Now, is that crushed oyster shell or full-sized oyster shell?
Yeah, it don't matter. Shell.
But shell takes donkey's years. Crushed chalk, you can bang crushed chalk in and it'll be fine. pH is 7.5. You can wang up your KH like that, and it will just be fine.
There you go, bro.
I'll be testing KH and GH for the very first time ever tomorrow.
Don't do your GH, mate. You don't need to do your GH.
Welcome to the club, Vince. You're going to be chasing KH from now on in.
Well,
I'm going to test it because I've never tested for it before. So,
Vince, where's your water come from? Itchen Valley or whatever? You're in a chalk area. Your KH must be through the roof.
Don't know. I've never tested for it, mate.
Where's the River Itchen start? Basingstoke?
Chalk Street.
I don't know.
It's chalk.
Basingstoke Canal.
Chalk, you should be fine. Be through the roof.
To do with your canals, Vince.
Yeah, we've got a canal in Basingstoke. Goes through us. Yeah.
You got chalk stream start by you, mate. Surely.
Oh yeah, we're rid of chalk around here. You got 2 choices. Well, you haven't actually. You got 3. You got chalk, flint, and clay.
But your water's coming from chalk aquifers from the water companies. Your KH must be proper hard.
But where I live in the Midlands, mate, it's bang on. It's bang on. It's great. It's right in.
To be about bang on for me, but it's changed my water over these last 8 to 9 months. Mine's changed a hell of a lot. That's why you should test your tap water regular, guys, and then you know if you've got any change.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to be testing that because mine used to pH wise used to come out the tap at about 7.2, 7.5.
That's good.
Life around the koi ponds asked a question. Vince, is it common for crap to build up at the bottom of your easy pod even after a long boil? Yeah, because they've got that shit.
Yeah, because when it boils, it goes out and then collects around the bottom, and that's why once you dump it, you then go around with a hose pipe, and that's another reason why I've got an isolation valve between my easy pod and my bio bin. Because once I've finished all that, I then backflush from the bio bin into the easy pod, which then pushes the last of that shit up over that stupid lip in the bottom.
Yeah, that shouldn't fucking be there.
Yeah.
That in itself is a flawed design, isn't it?
All they needed to do was just fill that out so there weren't a back trap, man.
Vince, you still video on it.
That little ledge and that fucking hump where the 3-inch pipe comes out for the return. Two biggest down points on the Easy Pod.
I've got a video on it after I went on holiday and come back, and it's a bane of my life in the shop. I've got so many of them to clean.
And Crafty, do you not agree? A 5 to 10 minute boil is not enough to clean an Easy Pod.
Yeah, 15-minute boil, probably twice.
At least.
Yeah. You need to when you're boiling it out. I always give it a good 5-10 minutes to get rid of the worst, and then dump it, refill it, boil it again.
Second boil.
Yeah, and I always, that's the one that I monitor the most, to be fair, to see how much crap's still seeping out.
Yeah.
But sometimes three boils is required. But that's down. So, you know, I have a lot of people make comments on that I work with, like, oh, this filter's minging. Yeah, well, it's a filter. It's supposed to be. You know, if it weren't, it ain't doing its job. You know, if it takes 3 boils, it takes 3 boils, and that's a good thing because it shows how much it actually collects. You know.
Yeah, and that's why Easy Pods are so underrated.
Yeah, they're the bollocks, mate. Right, you know, EA sales down in my shop has rocketed since I've been there because it's the brand that I love, and it's all right. It's not cheap, but at the same time, it's just worth it for any pond.
And if you're someone like me who suffers with bad hands, Easy Pods and Nexuses are absolutely fucking perfect.
They're easy to clean, man. Very easy.
Well, I got a question for you because it's getting talked about in the chat. Ideal KH, what should it be?
6.
I was under the impression it was between 7 and 8 as an ideal.
I thought I'd read 7 and 9.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7, not 6. Sorry, 7. I think mine's at 8, between 8 and 9, like just straight out the pond, working on a pH of 7. So,
right, for what? Again, it's the same thing, isn't it? Are you growing Kakus? You're growing Shiros?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, people don't get that. People don't go that far in, Rick, I don't think.
Let's say you've got a mixed bag pond.
A mixed pot, the higher it is, the more stable it is. So high is good, really, because it's a stable environment.
Silly question for those that don't. What would you consider high?
I wouldn't even know, mate. To be honest, literally,
from his well was 22 plus.
Yeah,
and
26 is the highest I've recorded it.
But we dump chalk in a lot of ours to ramp them up and stabilise them, literally, so it dissolves as much chalk as it needs, and obviously, as the pH drops and the fish use it and the bacteria use it, it's there to be replenished. There is no such thing, you know. A chalk stream got as hard a water as you could possibly have.
Yeah,
you can stick koi in it and it'd be fantastic. The sumi on the showers and shiros would be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the kahakus would fare quite so well, or
no, they certainly wouldn't.
It's
Benny fucking.
To be honest,
Benny would like it at all.
Your Benny drops off ship with a lower KH, but your sumi is with a higher KH.
Yeah.
And then your sumi comes up really good for your fish. Well, then that's a thing. That's a food for thought. God damn. Because I'm pretty sure my kahaku's Benny's dropped off a little bit, but my little Becco doesn't half look good.
Yeah, but you also got to consider the heat that it's going through as well.
Yeah.
You know, Benny will drop off in high temperature, and so will your sumi outside in the sun a lot as well. But you know, I've got a shower down, an Issa shower down at the shop that it absolutely banging when I moved it from inside to outside. But over time, the sumi's dropped off. So, you know, come autumn, I know that sumi's going to come back with vengeance. But it's just so bloody hard to get people to understand that when they're looking at the fish, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Name of the game.
Does throwing a load of
see-
chalk
see-
in though, does that increase the pH?
Do what, the chalk?
Yeah.
Chalk's naturally 7.5. So you could have half your pond filled with chalk. It would only have a pH of 7.5. Chalk is got a neutral pH. It's not lime. Lime is cooked chalk is a different thing. Chalk that comes out of the ground is chalk, and it has got a neutral pH. So you could have dig a hole, half fill it with chalk, fill the rest with water, chuck fish in, and be absolutely fine. I'm not saying
I've always got quite a naturally out of the tap near us. Our pH, I think last time measurement tap was like 8.5.
Yeah,
But then the KH is always about 4.
But your water, so up in Yorkshire, your water's coming from either reservoirs, external reservoirs, which will fluctuate in the summer. The algae will bloom, you'll get higher pH, you get lower KH. Whereas down south, generally, we're putting water from chalk aquifers, so it's very stable. Out in Wales and Scotland, all our customers, all the water's coming from like granite. It's runoff rainwater that's stored in reservoirs. It's super low pH. So your water sources are all different wherever you are in the country. So stable water is safer. I'm not saying it's if you want to grow the best jumbo kahaku in the world, you're not going to want hard water. But if you
Don't tell people that.
water, then stable's safe. And if you ain't great at stuff, safe's good. It's like using RO water. You're going down a line that if you don't know what you're doing, you're creating a very unstable environment. Yeah, it might be amazing for growing fish big and keeping the benny good for a long time. But yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a dangerous path to take.
Yeah, it can open up a world of hurt.
They want their fish to be happy and healthy. And if a kahaku develops a shimmy, it's not as bad as it keeling over dead because your pH has gone through the floor. So, yeah, in that sense, sort of a fairly high KH is safe. And safe's got to be good for most people, unless you're going down certain realms of the hobby that you want to grow those fish that bit bigger and you want to take those varieties that bit to the extreme. Then you need to know your water chemistry and what you're doing.
I think I'm happy with mine. Seems to be my pH and my KH seems to be the same every time I do it. I intervene in if ever, unless I need to.
No, you've probably got fairly stable water, so you're right. But yeah, we've got customers from all over the country, and the water's just all over the place. So yeah,
asking a question there, Rick, and everybody else. Surely it's the GH that determines the stability stroke quality of the fish colour pigments. KH is just the measure of carbonates in the water. I don't see how KH would affect the colour pigments.
Because the carbonates in the water affect how the pH is. That's just what affects the chemistry of it. General hardness is general hardness. So. Yeah. So the amount of calcium available is the amount of calcium available. The general hardness could be salts or anything else in the water.
Lime.
The carbon in the carbon in the water is what feeds the bacteria and the filters. It's like super important. So yeah, the general hardness generally will tie in with your KH, but it's not necessarily the same thing, depending on the pond and the situation where your water chemistry is coming from, whatever. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
So the GH one is.
It's just general hardness is whatever will make everything that's dissolved in water is your GH. So you could dissolve salt in water and that will increase your general hardness. But salt's not going to affect how the pH fluctuates in water or how your fish pigment changes. It's just the general. But the calcium that's dissolved in the water will affect other elements. So that will stabilize the pH. That will affect the color and how the fish develop. But they're tied together because generally your general hardness is mostly calcium based, but they're not necessarily calcium based. Is that what? Yeah,
there's
after a few.
Lots of other elements involved with your GH.
Yeah, basically, Jace is just the general hardness of the water. So you get, if you use RO, you're basically taking everything out of the water and you've got distilled water. And if you've got distilled water, you can then add salt and your general hardness will go up. But your KH won't go up because you're not adding that element. But that's not naturally. That doesn't naturally happen. That's something that we might do for a reason. Whereas naturally, water absorb calcium, silicas, everything from the environment it's in, where in the substrate you're getting your water from. So if you're getting it from Scotland and it's running off granite, it's getting nothing. If you're getting it from chalk aquifers, it's full of calcium. So depending on where it comes from, in Yorkshire, a lot of your water's coming from reservoirs that you're getting all sorts. Or so you're getting so it depends what that water is dissolved and absorbed will all add to the general hardness, but the KH is what is important to most koi keepers because that's what affects the pH. That's what the bacteria in the filters need. That's what the fish need to build their bone structure. So,
and if you have a KH crash, you'll see the fish just go straight off feed, sit on the bottom and not do nothing.
Yeah, if you have a KH crash, your filters, Jimmy, your nitrite go through the roof, the filters stop working, the water starts to go a brownie colour.
Yeah.
And you know that you've got to boost it somehow. Bicarbonate of soda is something that a lot of people use. In fact, we use
That's interesting you say that because obviously when I did that, when I CT'd everything, my water did brown off, did go with a tinge of brown, and I did kind of think that they were dropped off feed a little bit.
But you nuked your filters and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I reset everything. Yeah, so it was like fresh start. So
mine did the same. Mine went like super tea.
Would you say Crafty?
Irish Geordie Coy's comment there was what made me giggle.
Oh, I don't see after comments.
Yeah, this is it. Well, this is why I think it's better that topics like this are discussed and talked about. Imagine trying to explain all this to a new hobbyist who just likes the look of koi ponds and wants one for their own back garden.
But again, you go into extremes. Like personally, I monitor KH, pH, ammonia, and nitrite. Everything else goes out the window. I don't see a necessity to do it. So this is where I think that when you buy these like test kits from NT Labs or Colombo, that they add all these extra tests in that you don't necessarily require, in my opinion, and it just fries the brain, especially when you're new in the hobby, because nothing is ever where it should be, or one's higher than the other, and then you start changing one parameter and raising another, and before long you go batshit crazy because you're trying to get all the correct levels. It's only through discussions like this that you really need to understand what's going on with certain elements, and only when you become a little bit more versed in what it is that you're doing, what your fish tell you, etc., can you then start to look into the others. But again, it depends, in my opinion, what you want from the hobby. Some people like to chase the water parameters, for their koi. I don't think there's a requirement.
There's a question. Graham Starling says, how much bicarb to boost KH per litre? Any guide?
From a farmer's point of view,
teaspoon.
Ump it in.
Whack it in.
Well, I'll tell you, when mine gets down to 4, KH of 4, if I put 200 grams in, it will take my KH back up to 6 on 4,000 litres.
Yeah, but your pond will be different reaction.
Yeah, that's what I found out by doing a process like putting 50 grams and seeing what it takes it up to after about half an hour. Put in 50 grams, see what it brings it up to next day after half an hour or so. and then so on and so on, so that you know how much you need to be adding over a period of time to bring it up and keep it up. And then you could add it if you wanted to on a daily by just adding 10 grams, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if people follow Lee's channel, I mean, I don't have to boost nothing where I live. I have fairly stable water constantly.
Yeah, Lee's got a constant of feed being put in on it every day on it.
He has now, but he used to monitor his pH, and when his pH dropped down to a set level, he knew that his KH was at 2, you know, because the swing sort of like mirrored. So that's when he'd then chuck in said amount of biocarb.
Will make me laugh with that. Bloody some shopping list this week. Chalk, new book, bicarb, beetroot. All the things that we've been talking about, Will's got on his shopping list. Alexa, bookmark beetroot, bookmark book, bicarb, new chalk.
Don't forget the mangosteen.
Oh God, there you go. I'll give you another one.
Well, I'll send you across the list. I've got it written down, boy.
Marine salts. Marine salt contains trace minerals and elements that also help buffering capacity to help keep the pH in a high range. But are marine salts compatible with koi? Not saying they are.
They're made for, yeah, but it's like anything.
But that's what you'd have to do for like Seska with marine tanks and such as well. Then, yeah.
To be fair, marine fish are a lot harder to look after than koi. We got no way.
Yeah.
You took the words out my mouth there, Rick. I see what they do down the shop, man. It baffles me, mate. The copper and all sorts in their water, man. It's like...
So, Graham, your answer would be trial and error, mate. Try 25 grams or try 50 grams and see what it, do a test first, see what your KH is at. Try, and if it's low, and you want to get it to like a 7 to 9 range, add a little bit and try it. Try 50 grams, see what it gives you. Do a reading, do a test. Give it an hour, let it circulate around in your pond or whatever. Because technically, if you've got your pond running right, you should be turning it over once to twice every hour. Yeah. So try it, see what it does, see what it brings it up by, and add a little bit more if you need to do, and then so on and so on until you get there. And then work out how many times whatever you've added, and you know how much it takes to bring yours up for your literage of your pond. It's a bit of a trial and error, mate. Everybody's pond's different literage. Everybody's going to work it out kind of really for themselves. Well, there we go. One more question from Life Around the Koi Pond. You know, you can do these in the community chat. Question. Just been talking to a mate from work who keeps koi, and the koi he has is from spawning his pond, and he's never had problems with parasites. Is he onto something? Hang about. Just been talking to a mate from work who keeps koi. The koi he has is from a spawn in his pond. Never had problems with parasites. Is he onto something?
Yeah, he's on a. Of course, at the end of the day, if you've got an isolated system and you breed, then those fish that survive have got an immunity to that, to whatever's in that environment, and you won't have problems. You ain't going to have decent koi.
He's not introducing anything, is he? So he's not bringing anything new to the pond, which could be harbouring parasites or whatever like that as well.
It's about stability and like not creating stress effects in your pond, such as constantly trickle feeding new koi in, etc. You're always going to.
New koi are the biggest problem, but that's what you do that's what you want. So, yeah.
Andy's koi puddle says bicarb. My research said max safe bicarbonate per day should be 30 grams per 1,000 litres per day until you reach the desired KH.
Yeah, we might have blown that somewhere out of the water.
I've blown that out of the water regular, so.
Yeah.
I've banged 200 grams in mine no more than a day ago.
I think the only issue with bicarb is that you get basically sodium is your byproduct. So you can bump up the salt issues with the sodium content of the pond.
I'm salt in it because it's been water changed now. So.
But yeah.
But yeah, that would be worth bearing in mind if you did have salt in.
I mean,
You've got the
it's
freshest
two
pond water
molecules.
going, guys.
My fish was living chlorine.
Gaz has got the freshest pond water going.
God damn it.
So the girls have gone in and they're keeping an eye on me to make sure I don't pick up a pot of mealworms and put any more out the window.
Coming
out to get the butler.
Cameron, explain to us what's wrong with something eating when it requires food or wants food.
I know.
We don't get it.
We don't get it.
Do you know when you're hungry, what do you do?
I wouldn't want it. Starve.
You starve.
Yeah, but like people say, when you're hungry, what do? You eat.
No, we don't. We starve because you give all to the fish.
What
Can't
you got to
afford
remember
food. Fish eat.
is fish have got a window through a certain amount of months that they need to maintain their weight to occupy them and keep them throughout the winter periods where they don't eat, because you don't go 4 to 5 months without eating. The fish need to eat through the periods where they can to gain mass to carry them through the winter.
Yeah, exactly that, bro.
I need to get through the winter too.
Yeah, but you would naturally a chunky
You eat
monkey.
every day, 3 meals a day on average. The fish don't eat for 4 months.
No, I didn't.
That's months upon months without a single meal.
Bastards.
The only window those fish have got is Vince's feeding window.
Feed them when they can absorb it and they can store it. And that's what they need to do, is get boated in the shin.
Look, they're all hanging round by me going, Dad, feed me.
Yeah. Because they're switched on for feeding, isn't it? That's why.
You don't want to be feeding them now, Vince. Too late, mate. Let them have a break.
He don't get up till lunchtime, so he needs to feed them late.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Get them fed, son.
Get them fed. My boy's Coy said, question. What's your question? Oh. Question. Most treatments say don't feed while treating. But when people are battling parasites for several weeks, not feeding will only, I can't read that. Oh, there well. What's there now? Will only
make the fish weaker.
Only ail the fish. Only make the fish weaker, I'm guessing that is.
Yeah.
I always feed my fish when I'm treating. It's never done anything to me, but to mine personally.
Depends what you're treating with, doesn't it? If you're treating with something that's going to strip the oxygen, you don't want them full of food. That's short term.
Which fish treatments state do not feed the fish whilst under treatment? I mean, I've never read that on a packet.
I don't believe there's any out there that say
not that I know of. Do you know?
Yeah, but you shouldn't. You wouldn't want to be feeding your fish heavy if you're going to give them a proper potassium treatment or a formalin treatment where you're going to be stripping the oxygen and you don't want to need more
oxygen then anyway, are you?
So, but yeah, if you're battling for parasites for weeks, yeah, you need to. I don't know what that's quite a long time to be fighting. Yeah. You wouldn't not feed them for weeks through the summer if you're. Yeah, I don't know what parasites you're battling for quite that long. You should, the longest 5-6 days for white spot through the summer.
That's a cracking view, Vince. To have a window like this.
What, just Vince or the court?
No, not Vince. Just having a window that close to your pond.
Vince had a cracking view, mate.
So if you were treating with something like PP, if you were treating with something like
formalin or PP, you wouldn't feed them before.
For the 12 hours max that you might be actually running a PP dose for.
If you're treating with malachite formalin at a lower dose long term for white spot, then you carry on feeding as normal. If you're treating praziquantel for flukes, that's longer term, you'd carry on feeding as normal. But anything you're putting in that's a serious dose that's going to affect the oxygen levels, you don't want the fish full of food because the oxygen demand's through the roof. If they've got food in them, they need more oxygen to deal with it.
Aquaflavin, you can't feed on as ammonia spikes. This question is asked on UK koi owners a lot, and I generally don't. Aquaflavin in that. What's the stuff?
Aquaflavin,
bacteria,
which is it's spelt slightly different to that, is a long-term antibacterial dye that you'd use, and generally you would feed. The problem with it, the only reason you get ammonia spikes is it might knock your filters back.
Yeah.
So you've just got to be sensible. If you're going to use a treatment that's going to affect your filtration, you don't want to carry on feeding.
Because it's a bacterial treatment, isn't it? Which will
Sits in the system. Sits in the system for quite some time.
Yeah, a strong dose of aquaflavin would dye your pond a luminous yellow for a week.
For weeks, yeah, it's horrible. In the shop when we've had to use it, it stains the water forever, man.
So at the end of the day,
water change, isn't it? Really,
it's a water change job out. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah, I hate it.
That's the thing. You want to keep it in the system going. You know?
Yeah.
But it's a long-term antibacterial sort of treatment. So, yeah, depending on why you're using it and the state of the fish you're using it for, but you can't leave them weeks without food because they get so weak they'll die through the summer. Anyway, you're going to cause stress. Good question. At the end of the day, it's not as simple as if you've got multiple problems and you're having to deal with flukes and white spot and a bacterial problem because you've got you could potentially be in a bad place.
You could potentially be treating your pond for 8 weeks in a row, like I was.
Potentially, but you've got to have windows. You've got to try and keep enough nutrition going into them to keep them strong enough. Or by the end of that 8 weeks, if it's through the summer when it's hot, those fish are going to be pretty weakened anyway. So,
which is going to make them more susceptible again to any further infections and more problems that they have. Yeah. So
the reasoning would be just feed at a much lower level, but still little and often. If just still trickle feeding in is much better than not feeding for a week and then giving them a whole load, because you're just going to cause more problems. So little and often is always best, just to keep everything on a sort of standard plateau, so everything ticks along. But if you're going to use a chemical that takes the oxygen out, i.e. potassium and formalin, then you don't want to be feeding before the treatment.
Which technically over it, when you say that, like the other ones, which is a trickle feed and keep feeding throughout, are treatment for the fish. The ones that you're talking about now are not treatment for the fish. They are to eradicate parasites. So you're killing something off. Yeah,
you're putting something in at a strong enough dose that's there for a short window to do a job. But whilst it's doing that,
it's a treatment for your fish, is it? Though?
Well, it's not. Yeah, all of them are treatments of a disease, aren't they? They're not really. Yeah.
No, I mean, but I mean in the fact of that one's, when you're doing like a PP one, maximum length of time that's going to be in is if you do it the length, 12 hours or whatever, whatever it is, whatever is official and all the rest of it. But if you've got it in 5-6 hours and you've got reduced oxygen levels, you won't want to be going up to them then turning around to the there's 150 grams of food, get that down your next wall.
More importantly, you don't want to be feeding them like the day before or the previous.
Hold off prior to treating too.
Yeah, because whilst they've got food in them, they're using a lot more oxygen. So if they fill up with food the day before or 6 hours before, and then you bang a load of treatment in, they are then needing the oxygen when you can't get it. And that's
so treatment base wise, ease off for that kind of stuff, and the other one feed through.
Stop feeding 24 hours, do the treatment, short-term treatment, then back on it the following day. Maybe not full blast, but but you're not going to
build it back up again.
Yeah, you're not going to be growing fish flat, but aquaflavin's a bit of a. It's not something that's that commonly used, to be fair.
Oh, I've seen it used a hell of a lot the last year or so.
Well, there's a lot of bacterial issues going on, but it's it's something that it's antibacterial, isn't it? Same as chloramine tea. It is going to knock your filters back to a point.
Yeah. The good and the bad.
It doesn't come and turn around and say, yeah, you're good, you're bad. Whatever.
Just nail them all. What's up, Daz? You look like you're having a bit of struggling with the old Wi-Fi.
Can you put him back at the top? I don't want to be next to him because your arms look massive compared to mine. Sat there in a vest with massive arms. Can't you bring down here? We've got a jumper on.
Anyway, I think he's dropped.
He's gone. He's gone to bed. He's got to do some spawning in the morning. And that's me.
Yeah, true. To be fair, we are running. What's that? That's 3 hours and 18 minutes. So we are coming up to that mark. Has anybody else got any last questions that they would like to ask before we?
No, but Aaron, you know, one of the best things about having this window here is you can do this.
He just climbed out of it, didn't he?
There we go. What's that? Not always, Gary. I see a lot of posts from people who have neglected. Well, there you go. Neglected the ponds, and then find everything under the sun and trying to battle them all. Well,
yeah.
The key word there, mate, is neglect.
In that situation, though, if there's everything going on, you've just got to go in.
You've got to hit the worst one first. The whatever's going to nail your fish and kill your fish more likely first. Treat that one and then go down through whatever it is that. Like flukes. Flukes not always going to kill your fish, but there are other parasites out there that will kill them a lot quicker if left uncontrolled. So you go for the worst. Like, for example, white spot. It is a killer of fish. If you can eradicate that one quickly and get rid of that, then perhaps move on to Costia, then perhaps move on to Chilodonella, whichever ones are the worst ones of them all, and then get down to the one that you know they can just be not comfortable with. They're still going to be an irritant, and work way through it till you process through the worst first to the least worst last.
Pretty much. But to be fair, if you find a pond in that situation, you're doing your best for a neglected pond or whatever, and if you're finding that many problems, then I'd always go in with the strongest, like the potassium first, that will have an effect on everything, and it might clear some things, but it will knock others back, and then go in with the longer term treatments thereafter. Whilst you can then trickle the food in and try and get the fish back to some kind of health. But normally a pond you find like that, the water quality is shot to bits as well. There's a whole array of problems, and they don't come to find help until, I think my fish are unwell, and you go to the pond and the filters are blocked and the water's crap and the fish are mank. There's so many levels, so you got to sort the water, hit the worst of the problems, and then try and get the whole setup back to some kind of semblance of what it should be. But normally that's people that have given up on the pond or moved house or inherited a pond, or general koi keepers that are actively out there every day looking after their fish tend not to get to that point. Does that make sense? There's a lot of inherent koi keepers out there that buy a house with a pond, or family members die and they look after a pond and don't ask for help until the fish are in such a state that
we were talking about a channel the other day where his father had passed, and he took on the pond, and he basically started off his channel by, guys, I need help. I've got this pond. It was my dad's. I need to do this, I need to do that. And he started a channel basically to get help and ask help.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's something you couldn't have done years ago, could you?
No, not at all. He really did get the help that he needed and knew what he wanted. But I mean, the main thing there is, if it's somebody that's got a pond and they've neglected it, then you reap what you sow, don't you? What's what you put into it. If you neglect your fish, you can't expect them not to have problems.
Or it's just an earning curve, isn't it?
Neglect's not a learning curve, mate. That's neglect.
No,
why is my cat dead? Because I left a tin of cat food at the side of his dish.
It's a little bit different, Gaz, because let's face it. Okay, we can with with ponds, people just see fish as fish, and they think that they can live in water, etc. And then you go through that learning cycle, don't you? Not everybody researches before they put a pond in their garden, mate. You know.
No, they don't, but that don't make that right. And in my eye,
I agree.
If you're going to go into something and you are going to put something in your garden, or you're going to put something in your house, and you're going to look into having a pet of any way, shape, or form, then you should do your research.
Yeah,
you should know what you're getting into, and you shouldn't do it if you aren't prepared to. Simple as.
You know,
People might not agree with
not everybody's in the same mindset, mate, as that. Not everybody is in the same mindset. They get a house, they put a pond in the garden. Mate, I have customers come in, Gaz, that have got a pond with fish in and got absolutely zero filtration, zero pond plants. You know, they've put goldfish into a pond and then they say, "Oh, my goldfish have died. Can I have some more?" I then go circumstances behind what's going on with your goldfish. Now, you know, goldfish are a couple of quid a piece. You know, they're not expensive, but you know, I want to see why their goldfish have died, and you know, it's one of them things that I didn't know I needed that. You know, and that's when you start the education process.
Yeah, but that's not the terms of neglect. Neglect means having something, leaving it, and doing nothing with it till it becomes in a state of suffering.
Yeah.
Change the terminology that you're using and put it down to learning curve, not educate themselves. That's different. Neglect is pure human choice of not doing jack shit with your pond.
Yeah, so I think that neglect may be a strong term that's being used because there's not many people that neglect.
No, I'm not saying there is, but I mean, it could be the case of a family member's passed. That person's not, nobody's been around, nobody knows that he's still got the pond in the back garden until they go around to sort the house and they found that it's been neglected. That's slightly different. But I get what you say. I get what you're saying, my boys. But if it is neglect, then you do reap what you sow. If you're not, and it's not through anybody's actual choice, and it's a different, it's a different kettle of fish. But
I personally don't believe that garden centres should be allowed to sell things like sturgeon, because these garden centres sell these fish to people with zero information on them.
Vince, right? I had to turn a lad down a couple of weeks ago, right? He said, "I can have one of the we sell little 6-inch sterlet, right?" They said, "Can I have one of the sturgeon?" I was like, "What sort of pond you got?" And if you've seen the Black Don infinity ponds, which are literally a pop-up pond about a foot deep with a little round window in that probably hold about 300 meters of water. He said, "I've got one of the ponds that you've got at the front of the shop." And I was like, "Nah." But I know a garden centre would have sold that. They would have just given him one. Yeah. And in 2 weeks' time, it's outgrown it because they grow at a rapid rate.
It's either that, or within a week, it's turned into
an
a fucking horseshoe where it hasn't been fed enough or it hasn't got enough oxygen.
And twitching around on the bottom, mate.
Yeah.
It's mad that, though, because if you go to somewhere like Pets at Home to buy a guppy, they make you jump through hoops to buy one. They're asking you how big your tank is, how many litres it is, stuff like that. You can go to a garden centre and buy a sturgeon and just put it in a bag for you.
Yeah. But generally, there's a hell of a lot more questions around tropical fish than what there is any other type of fish. It's mad.
Yeah, but there is no legislation, is there?
Nope.
There is no. Your pet license is your one thing that you've got to adhere to if you're selling pets or fish or whatever. But that's it.
You're right with that, though. When you go to like Pets Home and they ask you, they turn around and say, "How big is your fish tank?" Well, it's 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. Right. Well, you can only have 6 of these guppies in it, but you're taking them out of a 10-litre tank. And you've got
I've seen it first.
I'll be one of the first people to point that out.
I have done.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'll be exactly the same. Well, how have you got 50 in there?
Yeah, in it.
Yeah.
They got a big filter behind it.
Because our filtration is absolutely huge and it all runs through one and every tank's all cycle through the whole lot. So when you've got white spot in that tank over there, then all these fish have got white spot, yeah?
Yeah, they have to
don't
treat
like that one, either.
rather than
They don't like that one, either. You can tell them that too.
No.
Anybody else got any more questions they want about there? First, oh, that's not a question. That's a statement. You got me. First step to getting rid of the problems in your pond is to start watching the GKP live stream. No job too big, no job too small.
I had decent hair, didn't I?
You did.
When I started.
Yeah.
I've gone grey, mate.
Now he's gone grey. See, it's a thing, mate. It's a thing. Me too.
My missus, I've got to go to the hairdressers, and I.
No, you were just sanding the day, Gaz, weren't you?
Do you go to the hairdressers, Rick, or the barbers?
Either.
With a hairstyle like that, windswept and rather.
Like he's just stepped out of a salon.
He definitely goes to a salon.
Tomorrow morning, I'll have koi eggs in it, and I'll go to the shop to get some breakfast, and they'll be like, "What's that in your hair?" It's like, "Oh, that's a kahaku egg." That's a egg.
Here, I've got a question for you, Vince. Vince has never tested for KH. Is that neglect?
Yeah. Never needed to.
Never needed to. My fish have never ever shown any real issues other than jumping and flashing from parasites. Other than that, they're absolutely perfectly fine. So I've never felt the need to test for KH, GH. You know, and I mean,
there is no need, Vince.
No, and I mean,
down south.
I used to use an API test kit. I think that it ran out last year, but I think last year it come out 3 times, and twice, 2 of them times, because they was down at my old man's pond, not even my own. You know, so.
Yeah.
There's a statement there. I'm glad you brought that up, guys, because that's
Life Around says the biggest problem is overstocking and inadequate filtration.
no. I disagree. Disagree with that.
I don't know. A lot of people. I mean, a lot of people put a lot more fish in the ponds than what they really should do. We all probably overstock.
But
if
your
you've got a
your filter's only as
filtration-
good as your feeding regime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That it's what your class is overstocking. You start off with let's look at my pond, right? So 4,000 gallon, right? I put 30 fish in 2 years time, then 30 fish will get, let's say, 40 cm as an average. Your whole pond has changed just with that growth. Is it overstocked at the time of having 4,000 gallons when I've just introduced fish, or is it overstocked now they've grown to 40 cm? Right, your filtration is what dictates how much you can have in your pond, as long as your feeding regime keeps your fish alive.
Yeah,
I agree with him.
Wow. We've got about 1,000 fish in every 4,000 gallons, mate. So you want to go down that road.
I mean, Rick, you must have how many? You must have it down the shop, mate. How many fish can I have in my pond? It's quite a regular, right?
I don't even answer it. It's filtration.
Yeah,
period.
Totally.
You can have as many fish as you want, as long as the filtration's adequate. And if you want thousands of fish, you're going to stay small. If you want big fish, then don't have so many. But filtration, it's everything.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with the volume. Some of our ponds, people walk in and go, "But you could walk across the fish in your pond," and yeah, you can. But actually, there's 2,000 gallons of water, and there's 2,000 gallons literally of filtration to go with that water.
So.
But that they're only in there temporary. What you're doing? A lot of ponds are overstocked for the box filter or whatever they got on there, because they've got a 2,000 gallon pond with a filter that's not geared to deal with any weight of fish in it.
Especially koi fish.
The problem is the manufacturers don't help themselves. The Oazi combi filter, when they first brought one to the shop, the trial one, big banner with it. This combi filter is for 20,000 litre ponds. And I said, "You what?" So he goes, yeah, 20,000. And I said, but what stock level? And then no fish. I was like, so you're saying, so this filter is built for 20,000 litre pond. You're advertising it, but no fish in a koi shop.
So what's it filtering?
So at the end of the day, so if we had a load of fish, no.
Yeah, it'd be shit, mate.
2,000 litre pond if you've got a stock of, all right. So yeah, but the filtration is key, and you've if you're going to have a heavily stocked pond, then you've got to have serious filtration and knowledge of looking after it.
Yeah,
that's
key. That's the key,
and that's where time and experience comes into it. And this is why I always state every pond and every pond keeper is always different, because different pond keepers will respond to different things in different ways, and every pond keeper has a completely different regime to how they do things, and that in itself throws in other parameters.
Yeah, and one thing you're missing there, Vince, every pond keeper has got a different agenda to what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
But happy fish or healthy fish should be everyone's agenda.
Yeah, should be paramount. Yeah.
And then beyond that, growth and whatever, and getting the best out of fish is a different scenario.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Rick. Yeah.
But we get all extremes. We'll have people that put in, a 4,000 gallon pond, and they go, I only want 6 fish in it. And you're like, they ain't ever going to compete. They ain't going to grow. They're never going to. Yes, right. They might grow massive, but in reality, the fish you're buying aren't. So, yeah, you've got to, like I say, everyone's different. I like a busy.
Sorry, it does.
Hashtag great mess.
Well, guys, one question for Dan. Are you nervous for Live Aid? Hashtag great best.
No, guys, your vape, mate, looks absolutely massive. Sat there next.
Thank you very much, sir.
The biggest vape in the world.
It's not actually that big. Well,
it just looked massive, mate. That's all I'm saying.
It's just there, position in there.
It's good perspective to know, though, isn't it? When you're on the old YouTube to your missus.
I'll go with this one for being our last question for the evening. Would you say biological filtration is more important than mechanical filtration?
No. You can't have one effective biological filtration without having an effective mechanical filtration. They go both hand in hand.
But your biological breaks down your mechanical.
I'd have to say biological's everything. Mechanical's for you. Look at my ponds, mate. There's no mechanical filtration. It's all biological. You might not see the fish, but
but that's not what's for the fish, is it? That's what's for us. The rest of it is for us.
Mechanical. The drums are amazing. They'll take out a lot of the waste before it even reaches the biological stage, and that's phenomenal. If you want a clear pond, a healthy pond, brilliant. So Vince is right, but in another environment, we can create a pond with no mechanical filtration whatsoever and have the best water quality for the fish there is. But yeah, you're not going to appreciate those fish because you ain't going to see them.
Which defeats the object of a garden pond.
Yeah. But people still do it. Mr. Alan Tate's got a pond he can't see his sheros in.
No. That's not really a pond, though, is it? I mean,
it's acres and acres of water, man.
Yeah. But it's the same kind of principle, isn't it? So in a normal pond, yes, they're both equally as important. But for the fish health and growing, mechanical filtration is it's for us.
If you say in the sense of like what you do, Rick, you not only do you do koi, you do carp as well. There is no better biological fish filter system than nature itself. Takes care of everything.
Correct.
And there is no mechanical filtration on there.
No, you almost actively discourage it. You want the clays, the suspended particles, to become the biofilter that where the bacteria live. The whole ecosystem is as it should be. The filters we create for our ponds are to create a much smaller environment where you can see the fish and you can take. It's a different environment. Yeah. So
you're creating your own ecosystem whilst taking the muck out to make clear water, basically.
Yeah. You basically have a healthy, clear environment.
And mechanical is for us. Well, and for them, obviously, so they're not swimming around in shit.
But if you think 4,000 gallon with 30 fish in it, right? If you're not going to take that, if you're not going to take the crap out of the water, right, you're gonna end up with a bloody hell on your hands. You know, if you a concrete pond, that is, if you put them into a mud pond, you know, you only have to look at a lake. A lake will hold fish as long as the ecosystem allows it. You know, simple as that.
The two different environments for two different reasons or purposes, and we've basically the whole koi industry is built off of. They start in the lakes. That's where you create them, but you want to put them in a nice, clear environment where you can appreciate them. So to have a clear environment to appreciate them, you need the mechanical filtration as much as you need the biological filtration.
That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to get.
You're right. Yeah. No,
it's not just about appreciating, though, is it? If you can't see the fish, you can't monitor them for any problems. I mean, I spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes every time I turn up looking at my ponds, just looking at the fish, watching them feed, making sure there's no sores on the mouth or anything like that. If your water's that green, you can't see your fish. You could go weeks and they could have a problem and you wouldn't even realise.
You'd say that, mate, but we've got, 100,000 fish on the farm?
Yeah.
I couldn't see, honestly, wouldn't be able to see one of them. They're out feeding on the farm. You couldn't inspect any of them. I could spend, from their behaviour if they're okay. But yeah, you don't expect to see a single fish come out with sores or marks or wounds, or they're in an environment where they are happy. Temperatures are good, water conditions are good, they're feeding, they're growing. And if they're not feeding and growing, there's something amiss. So yeah, it's just different environment. That's their natural environment. And if things are good, you just go around and feed them. And as long as they want to feed, there ain't. We can harvest thousands and thousands of fish, and you get split fins or heron wounds, but there won't be any issues other than that. It's only when you start tanking them up and putting them through the situation where you've got to prepare them for selling that you'll get all those associated problems with being put through a stress situation and cramped into. Suddenly they're going from 1 million gallons to 1,000 gallons, and they're like, "Oh, hang on, I can see all my mates. Hello, lads." You're just creating a false environment.
Our ponds are that tank environment, though, aren't they? This is the problem. We can't.
So that's why we've got to go through from the process of big lakes to get them used to being in clear water, get them used to people, get them used to, and they soon settle down. And it's just that's what the industry's been built off. You can't grow thousands and thousands of fish to start with in small clear ponds. Once you get them at 10 centimeters like Ricky does, you can then start growing them in filtered ponds, but you can't do that at the other side of it.
I think it's quite rude.
Bloody hell, no wonder you're grey, Ricky.
Mate, I honestly thought you was just naturally blonde.
It's a nice colour. I used to say it's like Philip Schofield, but I don't want to say that anymore.
No.
Oh, that was low.
Like being a silver fox, mate.
He's reaped what he sowed, isn't he?
And he
I
sowed
don't know. I don't follow the news or anything, mate. So
this one's a no, mate. Would you say biological filtration reduces the chance of parasites? No.
No.
Filtration doesn't do anything for your parasites.
No.
Yeah, well, I'd say it does. If your biological filtration's good, you're going to have less chance of parasites. If your biological filtration is inadequate, you'll encourage the problems.
Yeah, you would, because you're going to be messing with your water parameters and the cleanliness of the water. Therefore,
my question then for you is, how does biological filtration prevent flukes?
If you've got a healthy environment, if you've got your fish, you've got the low level of flukes and you've got mint water conditions, then the flukes will propagate at a much lower speed. The fish's immune system will deal with it. They're much stronger. They're much happier. If your biological filtration isn't adequate, then those flukes will multiply.
So it's all about the fish's immune system due to the biological filtration.
Yeah, the health, the whole stress factor, everything is to do with stress, to do with the environment, to do with if you've got fish that have got no parasites and they're absolutely sterile, then you can give them crap water and it won't affect the parasites because they don't exist. But in reality, you'll have parasites at some level on your fish.
It all really is a true balance throughout there, isn't it?
Zen.
It is, though, isn't it? Yeah. It is, though.
It's about creating a less stress environment for your fish for them to thrive.
Not for me, the fish breeder, obviously.
The problem is after this live is that it's just like everyone's just going to go out and build super big bio bins tomorrow, aren't they? After this live.
Is it? You can't have too much biological filtration.
I've been banging on about that for years.
Yeah, and that is the key. More bio.
Crafty sells K1.
Lots of it. Cheers, Rick.
It's also a new thing which Aaron started within the group of the GKP. If ever anybody wants to show something and how big it is now, it has to be placed above your head. Just like you want to show the size of your exactly. See, there you go. If you want to see how big my vape is, it ain't that big. But this is something he started the other week. So if you want to show us how big your fish are,
like my wow.
Yeah, look at the size of that.
Oh, mate,
massive. Like a king size one.
It was Gaz saying, my mealworm is bigger than yours. I was like, no, it's not. Put it on your head then. And it was like that on his head. And I put mine on and it was like that. I was like, see, it's not bigger than.
I'm trying to see the difference between 2 tubs of food.
I would get mine out, but Susan's nicked it off me.
This is this is not that kind of show, Vince. You can keep that one where it is.
The mealworm tub, you twat.
Oh, sorry.
You do well if you get that on your head, Vince.
Yeah, don't even put your mealworm tub on your head. You keep yours in the tub. Sounds a bit painful. Right then, guys. I think we're going to draw this.
You'll be surprised what us squaddies can cope with.
Yeah. But we don't need biological filtration to keep us sweet.
Mawams.
Like they're the nuts, by the way.
Keep me going.
Unless he's wearing a cap, then obviously you'd only see how big his cap was on his head. Yeah, I agree.
And don't forget to keep an eye on Perfect Aquatics Facebook page for the Grow and Show Momotaro Kahaku.
And when you get it, mate, and you're ready and you've got it, share it and I'll post it on community.
Oh, yeah, it'll all come out to you anyway.
So there we go, guys. That's it for this week. Usual thing, if you could do us a huge favour, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Until next time and next week, which will be the all types tan show for the fish appreciation. If you want to drop us your pictures in, usual thing, guys, you know where it needs to go. Till next week, guys, keep smiling.
Keep smiling.
Good night, all. See you all later. Cricket bat. Get it in.
Does that mean a 6?